1-0 down, you're not confident. You don't believe, we're going to win this. You're hopeful we might get an equaliser. You don't think, we're going to go and smash them. Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, Man City fans, they know 1-0 down, we got this. We can do this. Unless we feel like that, you can't tell me we're in a title race. I don't feel like that with Spurs. I feel like Werner's going to miss a chance. Brennan Johnson's going to miss a chance. Richarlison's going to miss a chance. Kulu goes missing against the top 10, as most of them do. Our defence, one of them, Romero, Adogi, Porro, one of them is going to fall asleep at the wrong moment. The high line's going to get exposed. I'm always worried. I go to Spurs games and I'm worried. I'm always thinking we're not going to take our chances. We're not going to defend when that killer pass or when the pressure comes on us. I don't, with Pochettino, when Poch was here, I always felt confident. I thought, bring it. Any team we played, I thought, bring it. I don't feel that with Ange.
You was confident. With any team, you was confident, wasn't it?
Dan, I was cocky. I was proper cocky. I gave it. I was cocky. With Ange, I'm worried. I'm worried. It's like being in a Wild West shootout. Who's going to shoot? Who's going to who's going to draw first? That's what I feel like at Spurs. It's just a Wild West game of football.
You've missed one big point there, Still. You've missed a big point. I can agree with you being like that, but the way we are, we would have forgot to put the fucking bullets in the gun. So even if we pull it out first, we'd still.
We'd pull it out and we'd drop the gun or something. It's like, Arsenal control games. They control games. Man City, okay,
we'll pull out banana from the Hotspur.
Man City go 1-0 down. They'll dominate. They'll turn the screw. They'll start cooking. Big up, my man. Big up. Look who it is. And they're going to turn the screw. Liverpool, they've got that spirit. They've got that 12th man. They'll suck the ball into the net. Liverpool. I just don't feel that with the way we play. The way we play, it's almost like it's a thriller. It's for the cinema. It's for the cinema, but the story's not really a happy ending. It's oh my God, they killed him. Oh, I didn't see that come in. But it's thrilling. It's thrilling to watch. It's really entertaining to watch. But
it's like back in the day, people complained when they came out and they knew Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's dad or something. It's just like one of those ones. You just knew what was going to hit the fan, didn't you? So, just want to say, big up, Tom. How you doing, fella? Hope everything's good for you. He says, big up, Dan.
Yes, Tommy. Chat. Big up, Tommy, man.
Hopefully, this is a double bluff from Ange. But I thought that last season, you have to adapt in the league. This is not the Scottish Premier League. Exactly, mate. And we've been saying this for God knows how long. Hope everything's doing good for you, fella. You're the one that started off this channel and passed it to me, which I always appreciate. Hope everything's going good at home with the kids and everything else. And I will speak to you very, very soon again. And Gus just saying here, because we knew he'd win the Old Firm, and he knows that he's most likely going to lose tomorrow. Whether it is that or that, I just don't, even if he knew he was going to lose, I don't think he'd have been that stupid to say that in Scotland. He'd have got bricked. He'd have had bricks thrown at his head. That is how deep that would have gone. And Tom saying here, the stark reality is he definitely should not have been employed in the first place. Some are definitely starting to say that now. And Matt, the City losing 1-0. I don't know. I haven't checked. I know Man U won 3-0. I mean, I was going to watch.
City will win that. City will win it. City will win it.
And Richie's saying, fans talk about the Arsenal game being the springboard to get on a good run. When have we ever done that? We're always win, draw, lose, win, draw, lose. I get you, but I think this Arsenal game, if we win it, can project something. But that's all hear and see. So Sue Smith saying Ange has learned nothing. Sadly, I totally agree. I don't think he has. So with you two coming on, you all right, Eugene? You all right? What about you doing?
Hi guys. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Dan, Stel, Robbie. Yeah. Good evening here from Malaysia. Yeah. But Stel, I know how you feel, Stel. That's why I keep telling you I'm zen, because we've gone through the win now manager, then we didn't give him the tools to win now. Then we went to Nuno. That was like our, we went to the Twilight Zone. Then we came up with Conte, and we still didn't give Conte what he wanted. But somehow or another, miraculously, Ange comes in, and Ange says that everything that he wants, he's gotten it. So, and of course, we're challenging for the title, right? So, yeah. So that's all bullshit. You can say it's all that bullshit stacked on top of bullshit and more bullshit, right? We are in Tottenham Hotspur, not football club, right? We should be called the manure club, right? Because we are scooping up bullshit given to us by our club for so long. And when Ange came in, right, when he played that front foot football, all our fans was, Robbie, you're 18, right? Or still 17, yeah, I won't go there, right? They were, doing what they do, and then with issues and all that. But the thing is that I've been through it. I've seen it. At the moment now, all I can say is, let's sit back and watch it all collapse again. I've done that so many times. So, yeah, yay, we got our Tottenham back.
The thing is, Eugene, the thing is, I don't think we're going to lose to Arsenal tomorrow. I don't believe they're going to beat us. I really don't. I think Spurs. I think Spurs will be the better team. I think Spurs will be the better team. I think we'll have more possession. I think we'll pin them back. I think Spurs are going to surprise a lot of people tomorrow. I think we're really going to take it to Arsenal. But my problem is, I'm confident we'll score. I am. Van der Ven, Solanke are there. My concern is, I do not have confidence when the pressure's put on us. When we have these tactical, these defensive tactics. It's not just the high line. We just look disorganized at the back when pressure's put on us. We just look at 6s and 7s, and that's my problem. That's my problem. I think we'll score tomorrow. I think Son will score. I think Solanke might get his first goal for Spurs. I think we'll score 2 goals.
There's one more thing I'm worried about.
This Arsenal team's there for the taking, and we're not going to take it. I'm worried we're not going to take it.
There's one more thing I'm worried about. If Arsenal scores first, right, will our heads go down? Like what happened in Leicester, right? And if the stadium goes quiet, right, and we see that it's another Ange tactical mistake, the one ball, the high line bullshit, right, and all the fans will realize, oh shit, yes, in the stadium. That's why I fear, because if the fans,
I think if we go 1-0 down, I think we're better when we're losing. If I'm honest with you, Eugene, I think Spurs play better. By the way, 1-1 Man City. What did I just say to you? What did I say to you? It's 1-1 already.
I'm not going to look at City game. City game is come on.
You know they're going to win.
We know that, but right, Rob, I'll come to you, seeing as
big up, Rob,
and I'll ask Eugene as well. How you doing, mate? Everything good?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks, Dan. Afternoon, still Eugene, everyone in the chat. Hope everyone's all good.
Right. So, question I will ask, because I've got a list of here to go through. Ange's not willing to change his tactics for nobody, for nothing, for no game. How do you see that?
I thought it was stubbornness last season. To be honest, now I think cluelessness is a nice way of putting it. I just don't understand why we play the exact same way against every team. Fine, play the high line, invert the fullbacks against your Evertons, your Southamptons, because what threat have they got up top? Armstrong, Calvert-Lewin, no disrespect, but to play the exact same way in every single game, no matter the opposition, you're digging yourself a hole when you haven't got the best players in the league. I can't get my head around it. Change something. I'm not asking him to park the bus, but in my opinion, for example, this weekend, maybe have Udogie not invert and cover the centre backs. Maybe play with a number 6, which for some reason he doesn't want to do. I mean, a back 3, I don't see that ever happening under Ange, but I can't get my head around why we're not doing that with the players that we have. I just think he's got to adapt and tweak in certain games, but it's not going to happen. And playing this system, you're not going to achieve anything, in my opinion, if you don't have the best players in the league and the best team. It's just not going to work. But this is where he's dug himself a hole, because he said, as I say, he wanted signings, we're going to get us contending for the league title this season. Then he said at the end of the transfer window that he was happy with the business that we've done. So if it goes tits up now, if it goes peaks on, for me, that's on him. Because you've said you're happy with the business. You've said that there's no reason why we can't contend for the league title. So if it all goes wrong, as much as I hate Daniel Levy and Enid, you've dug yourself a hole by saying that. He talks so much, he contradicts himself so often. And for me, he's got to tweak and adapt in certain Because apart from Solanke, it's pretty much the exact same team as last season. So you're heading into every game, same team, same tactics. Why are we not going to get the same results?
I totally agree with you. I mean, it's like the list I've got of points I've picked out, what he said and everything. I think you're totally right on that. I mean, why would you even go on there unless you're trying to pull a stunt on someone saying that you're not going to change everything? So, Eugene, what do you think on that? He's not willing to change his way for no.
Dan, he's already said it, right? Dan, he's
I know,
already said it.
but he said it again for fuck's sake.
Hold on, he's already said it. He's already said that's who we are, mate. And I'm going to die on that hill. You get what I'm saying? So now, that's why I've said, I'm cool. I'm sitting back. I'm going to watch him die on that hill. That's all I'm going to say, right? But whether it's stubbornness, whether it's arrogance, right? He wants to play the way he wants to play, but he hasn't been given the players to play the way he wants to play. The players aren't up to the quality. We don't have two players who can play like VDV, right? To defend like VDV, right? And we are stuck with, a lot of us think about it, right? We're stuck with a Conte team with Ange tactics. So we're screwed. All I'm going to say, watch him die on that hill.
Yep. So I'm going to go to the next bit then. Now, this is the bit that pissed me off more than anything. Because I think most of you know how I like football now. We all like it different. We all see football in a different way. But I'm the first one to tell anyone, if I was to ever take over a team, the first thing I concentrate on is sorting out my defence. Because a defence wins you leagues. You know? I mean, all right, a good attack, you need that and everything. But for me, your team should start at the back with a solid goalkeeper and a solid defence. Purely opinionated, I know, but that's just the way I would play football. Either a solid three at the back, or I'd play like 5 wing backs included, sort of thing. But that's just how I play football. Yeah. Ange comes and says, "We attack, which means we concede more." That's fine. I'm comfortable with that. So he's blatantly saying he knows we concede a lot of goals. He knows we concede shit goals, and the reason we do concede them is because we are so far pushed up it is unreal. And even our defenders being that far up there. But he says he's comfortable with it. He's happy with it. First come, first serve.
I can't get my head around it, really. I mean, he wants to contend for titles and he's happy conceding goals. We're not going to outscore the opposition. You've got Brennan Johnson and Burner and whoever the bloody hell up top. You know, playing this sort of outscoring the opposition way, it's not going to work again unless you have the best players. He said that he's comfortable with the window, though. So I just think it's defending such a massive part of football. Like you said a second ago, Dan, like Ben said in the comments, say everyone has, different ways of playing football. I think, as I say, defence, though, as I say, it's your most important part of the team. You never substitute your centre backs unless for an injury most of the time as a coach, from what I've seen. I just think the lack of attention to defence. I think, look, Stel, you're a coach. Do you reckon he trains defence? Do you reckon he has different rituals and ways of doing things defensively, or do you think it's all just possession to defend, really?
I can see we're not coached defensively enough. He coaches. There's an element of it, but I can see we're not coached. The way, right? There's many elements to defending, right? There's coaching when you've got the overload. So when you've got, let's say, 4 defenders and you're against 3 attackers, there's defending when outnumbered. So let's say 2 of our defenders against 3 of their attackers. There's one-on-one defending as individuals, or man-to-man defending when there's, let's say, 3 of us and 3 of them. That in itself is a different way of defending, because in each of those scenarios, you apply different type of defending known as deny, dictate, or delay. So deny is blocks, tackles, emergency ditch tackles, clearances off the line. Delay is when you slow down the attack. And that's about body shape, shuffling, reading the game. Well, you should always read the game. And then dictate is you send them the direction you want them to go. So I might approach you at an angle, show you there because I want you to go that way. or I might want to show you inside. Depends on the reason. But whether you delay, dictate, or deny depends. Are you outnumbered? Are you one-on-one? Are you man-to-man? Have you got the overload? And teams that look organized when defending have been coached exactly what I've said. I'm trying to make this sound as simple as possible. We look at 6s and 7s when we're put under pressure, which says to me, we're not coached. We're not coached and really focusing on the defensive principles. I think we do a basic element of it, but to me, we're not coached it. I can see it, because otherwise we wouldn't be so disorganized, or we've got really bad players at the club, like really bad defenders. But, you know, we've been told Romero, Van der Ven, Dragusin are really good centre-backs. We had Longley, Dyer, Rodon. I think the three we've got now are much, much better. We've got Adogi, we've got Porro. I think they're better than Chicken Royale and Ben Davies, right? So I expect them to be able to defend and to defend well. So when I see us defensively getting ripped, I'm like, where's the coaching? And I watch it, and I'm looking for the way the defense is structured and the way they make decisions as a unit, not just individuals. And we look like a kids team at times. We look like it's kids defending. Bless you. The kids are trying to learn how to play the game. As for the high line, it's madness, man. It's madness. And every fan admits it. Even the Levy lovers and the Ange asexuals, even they admit, do you know what? We need to do that all the time, right? So, Robbie, I don't think they don't dedicate enough training time to defending. They don't. I can see it. They are heavily dependent on the attack being so damn good that it will compensate any weaknesses in defense. And I know I'm right, because Ange has come out and said, I'm not bothered if we concede goals. What are you talking about, man? What are you talking? You don't care if we concede goals. That's how you lose games.
Which planet?
How you lose?
Which planet?
Goals.
Which planet of football is he playing on, right? But still, I can tell you the truth, right?
Does he think it's snooker?
This reminds me of Aussie. Remember?
Yeah.
You remember Ardiles when he took over the time, right? It reminds me of that. So what I think is this, right, is more like a PR stunt, right, concocted by the club, because Ange's salary is 2 million a season or something like that, right? So it's a cheap option, because we used to play all that negative football. All of a sudden now, we play this positive football, right? The owners are testing us to see whether we will accept it. You get what I'm saying? And Ange is a cheap option. So if it doesn't go well, we all know, guys, if he doesn't make top 4 this season, right, he will get the sack. Even if the fans don't push him out, he will get the sack, because he will not have reached his KPI. Or bring us into Europe if something bad happens. But as I can see it now, whatever he does on the pitch, right, it baffles me, because when he's like, what's the thing? We will score more than we let in. But the problem is, like I was been saying, we don't have that type of players. We need 2 players like VDV on the pitch, right, to cover our asses, to play the kind of football in the Premier League.
Eugene,
we are stuck.
Eugene, if we had Harry Kane, Luka Modric, Gareth Bale, Dimitar Berbatov, and Paul Gascoigne in their prime, I'd say forget defending. Don't worry about it.
Come on.
Don't worry about it. But
we've got one more. You forgot Vandervaart.
Turbo, Odegaard, Richie.
Guys,
where are we going?
Why can't the fan base be honest with themselves, right? While Ange is saying we're going to challenge from title, and we're buying players like Archie Gray, right? Odegaard.
It's crazy.
Right?
It's crazy.
So what title are we challenging for? We're not challenging for anything.
It's
an experiment to test our patience, to see whether we break. That's all. Right? Levy needs a 10,000 protest, or when we lost to Manchester United.
We're not going to
right? Yeah. When we not outside. I'm saying in the stadium this time, right? When we all sang Levy out. when we lost 3-0 at home. He needs to feel that again. I think he likes that.
Yeah.
He's into
It's-
S&M, right? Mentally.
I just can't get my head around someone even saying that. I mean, with what you just said, still, I totally understand it. But again, for me, that still wouldn't win the league because we'd still concede too many goals. It's like
Yeah,
I've
but
said
you know
already.
what, Dan, maybe
It would give us a better
Bale,
chance.
Berbatov,
If-
Kane, you know, these
Yeah.
amazing players. Maybe we can win an FA Cup. Maybe we can win a Euro
Yes.
Cup. Maybe, right?
Yes, but it's not going to win a league. Like I said,
No, you
give him the best
need
defense on the planet, and
you
he
need a
will
good
still
defense.
concede too
You
many
need a good
goals.
defense. You do need a good defense, yeah.
To win a league,
But
you
but-
can't go conceding 60 fucking goals or 50
yeah.
or even 40 most of the
MCD's
time.
still one.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, Rob, I'll come to you, mate. Attack, which means we concede more. That's fine. It's cool. It's cushy. Whatever way you want me to say it. He's comfortable with that. How do you feel with that?
Man City 2-1.
yeah.
You knew it would happen. You knew it
I
would
said it 10 minutes ago. I said it.
You knew it would happen. But
Cool.
yeah, I just think
Cool.
I just can't get my head around it. I really can't get my head around the lack of adapting, the lack of tweaking, playing the exact same way. And just as I say, again, I thought it was stubbornness, but the cluelessness defensively from this manager, from a good side with quick players up top. It takes one pass through or over the top of our back line, and we're done. We're done. That Newcastle game, and everyone's going, "Oh, dominant. We were the better team." Who gives a shit? We lost 2-1. Oh, we had all of the ball and all the possession and all of these big chances. We didn't actually, because our XG was ridiculously low. We just got in the final third and then gave it to shit players who couldn't do anything with the ball. So I just think, okay, prioritise attack over defence if you've got top quality attacking players, which we haven't. We've got a few good attacking players. Solanke, we'll see what happens with him. I'm willing to give him a chance. I thought he did a right at Bournemouth. Son, in my opinion, on the decline, but still capable of, producing fantastic things. But then who else up top? Kulusevski, he's a lot better, in my opinion, than 10. Other players, Brennan Johnson, Timo Werner, Hotspur, he's a young player. It was a gamble making that signing. We'll see what happens with him. So, if you're going to prioritise attacking over defending, if you're going to go all out attack, we'll concede 3, but we'll score 4, then bring in top quality attacking players in the summer window that will get us contending for the league title, which you said that you wanted to. But we went out there and signed loads of youngsters for the future, got the exact same team, no quality up top. So we'll probably score 1 or 2 goals in every game, but we'll concede 2 or 3 against the top sides.
You cannot
Dan,
play.
can you read that sentence again? What attack, right? But we will concede.
He stated, pretty much word for word here, attack, which means we concede more. That's fine.
Attack, okay, listen,
I'm comfortable. I am comfortable with that.
Guys, there's a hidden message behind that. Attack, he didn't say we'll score. All right. Concede, that means we will let in goals, right? And he's comfortable with that. You know what he's saying? He doesn't mind losing. Think about it. Attack, he didn't say score. Attack, yeah, we will attack, but we might not score, but we will concede, and he's comfortable. Put those 3 words together, guys. There's a hidden message in there. So we are screwed for this season, guys. The manager doesn't. The manager knows what he's doing. He's sabotaging the club.
Wait till we get injuries in the back line from European football and Christmas, and then we've got to play the Ben Davies and the Reguilons, and then we'll see what's.
I mean, seriously, what sort of manager has ever turned around and said something like that? If someone if one of you can tell me, or someone in the chat do tell me,
Tottenham manager. Tottenham.
In my entire life, I've never, ever known a manager to turn around and say, we concede more goals. I'm comfortable with that. Couldn't he turn around and say quickly, right, we attack more, which does mean we concede more goals. I know that, But in due time, hopefully, we'll be able to fix that.
Yeah, but
I think I would have taken that on the chin a bit better. Not just I'm comfortable with it.
Mate, if we lose tomorrow, right, all the memes, all the gifs, all the banter is going to be, but you don't mind conceding goals. This is what your manager said. What are you getting angry for, Tottenham fans? You back this guy. He's told you you don't mind conceding, right? That's exactly what's going yeah. Right. Just prepare whatever you're going to do and say.
And then there'll be the Spurs fans still. There'll be the Spurs fans still goes, but we had 20 shots. We had 70% possession. It doesn't matter who we conceded, do we?
But Solanke missed that chance if he just put it away.
Yeah, and Brenda doesn't know how to, Brenda's cross was so good and nobody was there.
Why did he even cross the bloody ball? I mean, like a commenter said here, I ain't even going to try and read that out. Probably bite my tongue trying to say your name. Why would Ange have been filmed screaming at them about changing to man? Then in certain situations, if he isn't trained, you appear to be assuming without knowing.
I can answer this.
Go for gold, mate.
Right. These films are snippets hand-picked specifically to show something, right? Show the whole training session. Show the 2-hour training session or hour and a half training session. Tell me how long was spent on defending. That's the first thing. Secondly, just because you man-to-man mark doesn't mean the unit has been coached. You can train me to mark Eugene, right? You can train Van der Ven to mark Havertz. Okay, great. But what about the unit? What's the unit doing? The defensive line, the six. And that's why I said when I tried to explain it, you've got marking when outnumbered, so defending when outnumbered as a unit, defending when you've got when the opposition are outnumbered, defending when you've got equal numbers, so 4-on-4, for example. That's what needs to be coached, because if one person pulls out of line, it frees up a man on the opposition, and now the others have got to make a decision. Do I stick to what we're supposed to do, or do I go and fix the problem that's been created by that player? So I do know, because I've done 12 years of coaching it, and I see it. I see the amount of times our defense gets split, and we look disorganized. We look very much at sixes and sevens, and what we do as fans is we just say, that's Romero's fault. He fell asleep. That's Udogi's fault. He wasn't watching. We're very good at blaming an individual, but I want to know what's the unit being coached to do, because as a professional, I'm expecting my teammate to make a mistake during the game. How do I react to that? And how do we as a unit react to that error? The best teams respond well to mistakes. They recover as a unit, not as individuals, as a unit.
Using initiative as well.
It's an initiative. It's an intelligence. I see it with us. Just one thing happens and we are completely gone. And look, the classic one at the moment is that ball over the top. That one ball, the whole defense falls apart. Are you telling me as a unit, we're not prepared for that ball over the top? Right? What do we do as a unit? It just looks like, right, everyone just run back. Just run somewhere. Just run back. Where? Why? How? That's, these are the questions we ask.
We are marking grass. That's what I've been saying. We've been marked in defense, right? We've been taught to mark grass. You know, right? But like you said, is it the problem with the players themselves, right?
What I'll say with the comment here quickly is...
Dan, sorry, please speak. But this person, Dafersha, he's also said it was during a match it happened. If you're having to coach during a match, you failed to do the coaching and the training. If you're having to bark instructions during a match, there's a failure in the training session. How often do you see Pep giving barking, shouting, screaming instructions on match day? Most of the time he's sitting there and his team just go to work. The calmest managers, Ancelotti. How often do you see Ancelotti just on the sideline, pretty calm? That's because the work's been done in training. Never forget this, guys. Remember this. The match is an extension of training. That's all it is. The match is an extension of the training
Well,
session.
that's what you train for, isn't it? You're training for the game.
If the training session is good, you shouldn't be telling players, man, mark, why are you there? What? If you're doing that in a match, there's a problem in training. There's something that's gone wrong with the coaching.
That's why with certain games, you need to adapt, because with certain games, you need to change a little bit, tweak a little bit of your tactics, because you know there's a certain very dangerous player in a very position, whatever, and you know you're going to have to adapt a bit to even put 2 men on him while a midfielder comes back and covers the centre backs or whatever else, the double marking and whatever else. That is what the training is for. That is what I've been going on and on and on about, on how you need to adapt game by game. And he's not willing to change for nobody. And the other thing I'll say to what the fella said was assuming. I'm going by what he said, but the other thing, I'm not assuming nothing. I'm saying that our defence is shit because of the tactics we play. And that is what I saw all last season. And that is what I've seen so far this season. Okay, we're only 3 games into it, coming up to 4. But we conceded the same goals that we did last season against Leicester and also against Newcastle. One of them exactly the same as Newcastle scored against us before. So there's no assuming there.
Dan, you bring up the comment at 3:44 from the same person, because now he just doesn't understand what he's saying. No, from Darfarsha.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll find it. There we go.
3:44. Right.
Rubbish. Pep does not coach during match games. So.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. The only time you ever see Pep get out of his seat is if his team are in that very rare moment where they're drowning, and you know it's an emergency. We're gonna die in this game. It's all gone tits up. Then yeah, that's an intervention all coaches should make. But that intervention should be rare because they should be getting it right. You shouldn't have to make those interventions. Okay. If Pep takes a player off, he's not taking them off because they're not doing what he wants. He's taking them off because either tactically he wants to change it, or 2, they're not having a good game. Players don't always have a good game. Sometimes players have a bad game. Sometimes it just, the motivation level isn't as high as what it needs to be. All managers make subs. To say that the Pep barks instructions throughout a whole game, mate, you don't know what you're talking about. Go watch Pep. Go watch Ancelotti. The only time they intervene is if
in trouble.
I call it. I don't want to say emergency coaching. It sounds very dramatic, but yeah, like when the house is on fire, when they're drowning, he'll intervene. Of course, he must. That's his job. So I don't buy that Pep coaches during the match. He doesn't. Pep will do his coaching at halftime. At halftime, we'll bring them in. And that's when coaching should be done, because mate, if you're on the sidelines, if you're on the sidelines, you've got to play on the other side of the pitch. Do you know how difficult it is to get the communication across? Do you know how difficult it is to get someone to do something in a scenario where you can't enter the field of play? In a training session, Ange will step into the field of play. He'll stand in the middle or the side. He'll position himself differently according to how he feels his coaching interventions will best be served. On a match, you don't have that option. You're in that dotted line by the dugout. He's there. It's very difficult to coach, and top coaches know that, which is why they make sure they get it right in the training session and they save it for half time. To say Pep sits there giving instructions during the match, you don't watch Man City and you don't know Pep. Okay. You don't watch enough of Pep to say that.
What I do here then, since he seems like he's got a bit to say and he's got a different opinion, fair enough. We're all entitled to it, mate. No problem.
Yeah.
You're alone. But there is opinions and facts. And the facts
guys, I got this question.
Eugene, hang on. What I'm going to do for you, Darfar, is I'm going to put the link on here for you and you only. Come on and say your point. We'll all be quiet and we'll listen to everything you got to say, and then obviously talk about it from there. So if we're assuming and it's all different and it's rubbish what's just been said, there's your link, mate. Come on, feel free. Say what you wish to say.
But okay, guys, I got this to say, right? This one more over the top, it's not. It happens more or less all the time whenever we concede a goal. And we know that's a mistake that you need to rectify, right? But why isn't he doing it? And we've seen that last season, and he's bringing it over to this season. Is he just hoping for some miracle that all of a sudden the players will know what they have to do, right? But if they don't, then he has to intervene. Right? Even in training or whether during the match and all that, if you see mistakes like that, right? Like what I'm saying, I don't understand that the words they're saying out there, right? Attack, concede, comfortable, right? That is scary to me. But when it comes up to scenarios when during the game, like what I understand what Style's saying, if you're trained well, you know what you're doing, right? Like if I'm a manager of something, I'll let my people do their thing. Unless there's something going wrong, then I'll intervene. But at this moment in time, in defense, we don't see them being trained at it. That's why, like what Style's saying is correct.
Eugene, if you intervene, you don't trust your players. If you're having to intervene, you don't trust the players on the pitch to do the job.
But still, it's happening all the time. I mean, every time when we concede, right, it's more or less the same type of goals. You get what I'm saying? And if you're going to sit down there and not intervene, right, that's mind-boggling.
How often do you see Ange standing there doing nothing? How often do you see that?
I see him bending over a lot of times.
No, but it's a serious question. How often do you see Ange just standing there, not doing anything? How often do you see that?
Majority.
Right. Why do you think that is? Because he knows coaching's done in the training session at half time.
I know. I mean, with Spurs, yeah, but with other teams,
there's a reason. Ange isn't a bad coach. I've always said this. I don't think he's a bad coach. Like, he doesn't bark instructions during the game. He might give the odd instruction here and there if he thinks it's falling apart, like he should do. But most of the time, Ange just stands there like this. Doesn't do anything. Because he knows the best coaching is done in training and at half time. That's the best coaching and after the game. So Ange is actually a good coach. The problem is he's naive in terms of the quality of players he thinks we've brought in that can win something. And defensively, he believes in what he's doing defensively. He's come out and said, I'm not bothered about conceding goals. He's telling us. He's told us. Right?
He's basically giving his excuse, isn't he? Right. With Darfar, what point do you want me to make? I already typed it. The reason I gave you the offer is because typing, I mean, for me, can just be a pain in the ass, and you can get your point across a lot better when you're able to sit there and talk about it. Because typing can just be a pain, and even a message can come across wrong or whatever else. At least when you're sitting there and you can talk about it, there's a lot more you can put to your point. So if you don't want to, mate, that's fair enough. But the offer is there if you want to come on.
And as a qualified coach, I would like you to explain and justify what you're saying. To simply say rubbish, Pep doesn't do that. Back it up. Back that up. So that's I would like to hear you back it up so I can counter it or prove me wrong. Teach me something I don't know.
Yeah,
we all learn something from it. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. It's only to come on and give your opinion about it. And like I said, you can say a lot more through talking.
Yeah, and we won't bite. Yeah, don't worry. We won't bite.
You can say a lot more through talking than you can through just typing. Because typing, like I said, I just find it a pain in the arse at times because you just really can't get across what you want to get across at the best of times. So now that we've he has said VDV and Solanke are both fit. I'm going to have to get in contact with Steph, and I'm going to offer him again that double or nothing bet, except change it to Tottenham will win because we now have Solanke. Because I did say to him, I will be confident of us winning if we get Solanke back. So, Steph, I will be in contact with you again, and I will offer you the bet again. And it will be, the bet is I say Spurs will win. The bet is you say Arsenal will win. Double or nothing, mate. There you go. You got fair odds now because you said the odds were unfair last time. And Connor, you're definitely in trouble now. So, now that we've got VDV and Solanke back, I think that does up our chances, obviously. But do you think that's really going to make a massive difference to this game? Rob?
I think it might. having that vocal point up top, that number 9, he's going to be in the box, you know, to hopefully take those chances that come in. Van der Ven, I think, without him, our team crumbles like a chocolate digestive. I mean, he holds that back line, in my opinion, together. And without his recovery pace, you know, we've conceded enough goals already, but without him, you know, tracking back and stuff, we concede a lot more. But I think having him back, having Solanke back, you know, there's not a lot to be annoyed about when it comes to those two being back. I think it's good. I think it might make a difference, but again, it's more with a system, the high line that I have a problem with, not the specific players that we have. And it's good that Van der Ven's back. Maybe we won't get caught out as much. But I'm looking at their front line. They've got players such as Bukayo Saka up there, fit and ready for this game. You know, Kai Havertz as well was crap at Chelsea, but really stepped it up towards the end of last season. Martinelli, I think, is fit. Trossard, these are quick players. And when we're committing the 2 wing backs forward, if we play Kulusevski and Maddison, at times we're going to have 4 number 10s and 2 centre backs back against these rapid players coming at us. So I think it might make a difference, but as I say, I think the problem's more with the system than it is the specific players in this team right now. And for me, I still see balls being played over the top and do our high line and Arsenal scoring 2 or 3.
It is just that high line thing, isn't it? I mean, for me, it is. Even though we've got those players back, I mean, VDV, are they going to play him fully fit? Is Solanke fully fit? Or is it just 75% and good enough to start the game sort of thing? Because if VDV is not fully fit, I'd rather just leave him out for the game entirely, because we desperately need him so much for Ange's system. And God did that show against Newcastle when it went straight over the top. Usually VDV would have quite possibly covered that one because he'd have had the pace to get back to it. But that blatantly showed how much we rely on Van der Ven. And I do think it can make a difference for us having these 2. I mean, obviously, it's the one player we've bought that actually gets into our first 11. So I would hope that gives us a better chance. But VDV is definitely a big up for us. I mean, Eugene, what do you think on it?
Come to think of it, right? Of course, it'll make a big difference for us, right? VDV helps us a lot out in defense, like you were saying. And Solanke hopefully will be fruitful this time, right? With all the chances that we create. But my question is that how many times will Arsenal put the ball over the top and VDV have to run back? Maybe one of the times that if he can't run back, right? Guess what happens? So that's my big fear. But of course, it is what it is, right? Because Ange says that, you know, he wants to attack and he doesn't mind conceding. So, yeah, I feel that tomorrow will be an exciting game, the way it goes, right? Hopefully, Solanke gets his goal, you know, that we need to see so much from him to prove to, you know, all those who are skeptical of him, right? And if there are good chances and he still can't take it, then the doubt will be there again. We wasted another £65 million on another player like the Pigeon, right?
It'd be a brilliant game to score your first goal, wouldn't it?
Yeah, make you a hero.
Perfect game to do it.
Remember it,
literally.
Remember.
But I agree with you. If he goes and misses 3 or 4 chances, like we all know Johnson does, Timo Werner misses about 10 or 20 chances, and everyone else does, he's going to get absolutely cooked for it because of the significance of this game. Even though Ange says basically it's just another game. I mean, still, what do you think with these 2?
Yeah, I think Solanke's a big bonus, although I don't think he can work with Son. Son on the left doesn't work for me. I've said it for the last couple of weeks. I think Son on the left simply isn't the best position for him anymore. I think Son's better as the 10, but then that means you can't play Solanke. So what do? We're gonna force Son out wide, and I think it's hit or miss, right? So I think Solanke should be the number 10 because we spent a lot of money on him, and we've got to see what he's about. I think he's better at getting into those positions for those balls that get put across the box than what Son is. So on that side of things, yeah, we're better with him being fit. Regarding Van der Ven, I'm a little bit worried because he's just come back off an injury, and you're going to throw him into a fiery, explosive North London derby where he's going to have to make these ridiculous sprints. I just hope he doesn't get injured in this game, because he's coming back from an injury into the most explosive game of the season. He's not even being bedded in back, slowly. Let's give him a half a game.
Drop him straight in, basically.
Yeah. Maybe start Dragusin, then bring him on, or start Van de Ven and then swap him out. But then you've got no one that can sprint back for the high line counter attacks that we love to give teams. So I'd rather have Van de Ven than not, because he's the best at recovering from the high line. But I'm also worried we might lose him for the next 2 months because of it. So I'm 50-50 on Van de Ven, but with Solanke, I'm glad he's back. We need someone that can, finish up front from the crosses that we put into the box. And I think he can do that. So, but then I think we're going to have a problem out on the left with Son.
Still, do you think that if there are too many high balls over the top, right, VDV will pop his hamstrings again?
But that's what I just said.
Yeah, that's what you basically just said. I mean, that's the thing that we all worry about. I mean, the amusing thing is with that, and I just want to say to Paul 1, 2, 3 quick, mate, that's exactly what I've been asking for what I'd say 9 months.
Yeah.
No, don't necessarily want him out, just want him to adapt again in certain games, because you have to. You really do. Unless you're as good as City, but even they make adaptations for certain games. I mean, I've seen them play 3 at the back this season and 4 at the back this season. So what does that tell you?
Liverpool did under Klopp as well. They had Robertson covering the centre backs and Trent went forward. The only one who doesn't really adapt.
I mean, I get that if we was to play 3 at the back now consistently, we could be in serious trouble if we got an injury there, because we've really got no one who can cover those 3 at the back, unless we go and stick Archie Gray there, like we have done, or we've got Ben Davis. So we would be a bit screwed. But for certain games, you've just got to adapt, and that is like what the fella said, and that is all of us have really been asking for. And the fact that he then says, I'm not willing to change for nobody or no game, I'm comfortable with the goals we concede, every game's a big game, okay, I understand that one, I can go with that. And that he will be very disappointed if the players are more hyped up for this game than they are the Coventry game. None of it just makes sense to me. It really don't. I mean, if the players are not fired up more than they should be in any other game against Arsenal, I think that would tell me I've got problems with my players. If the manager can't get us hyped up for it, okay, I can get that. But if the players, even the manager really, should be thinking, right, this is Arsenal. We want this one no matter what. Because actually, if we go and beat Arsenal, we can fuck up their entire season on the 4th game of the season. Because if they then go, because if they get done by us, they are going to be pissed completely. They got 2 players missing, but they got capable players of taking the place. If Arsenal go and screw this up, and we do then, they are going to be pissed off. And then when they go and play City, which is their next game, I think, they know that pressure is going to be on them so hard that if they then go and lose against City, how many points does that put City in front of them?
I think 8 in City in today.
8.
Yeah. And for me, I know the season can be strange. I know things happen and whatever, but for me, that's game over. Because they couldn't even last with City being about, what were they at one point? 9 points in front of them?
Psychologically, Arsenal won't win the league if that
them.
happens, because they've got to still play games without Marino, without Odegaard. They've got Champions League midweek against Atalanta, tough game. They've got big games coming up. To go into that 8 points behind City, psychologically, it's a dent. Any which way you look at it.
We can literally fuck their whole season up by beating them tomorrow.
But we can still challenge for the title, though. But we at Tottenham, we can still challenge, my friends.
In that aspect, maybe I'm contradicting myself. If we go and win it, then
don't worry about
title race is on. Then the title race is on.
To me, right, what Ange should actually said, right? He has the players. He knows the players are hyped up for this Arsenal game because it's all the fans, right? The fans are hyped up about it. This is the North London derby. He should know it because he's been in the Celtic Rangers kind of scenario before. But he's playing this down, right? He should say something like, the Arsenal game is important to the fans and the players too, right? We're up for it and we should take every game at this level. But instead of saying that, right, he goes the opposite way, right? He's saying that, all games are important. So this Arsenal game is not as important as the rest of all the games. So he's just reversed what he did.
Eugene, do you think he's doing that to limit criticism if we go on to lose the game? Because if he was coming out before going, this one means everything to the fans, and then we, go on to
like I said before, he doesn't mind losing. He's comfortable with it.
It makes no sense, man. He was manager at Celtics, one of the most explosive hobbies in world football. He's Greek.
In that one, yeah.
Mate, he's Greek. He knows what it's like between AEK Athens and Panathinaikos. He knows what it's like. He's in Australia. There was rivalry between Melbourne and Sydney. He knows. This guy knows.
But why is he playing now the North London derby? Like it's like
I think he's trolling us. I just think he's trolling us.
Yeah. I think that's true too. That's there, right? Yeah.
I think he might have actually
stop teaching Ange to do that.
Maybe what? Robbie's probably right. He's doing it to alleviate the loss. So if we do lose, he can say, "Yeah, but I did say to you, every game's big.
Every game's the same."
I think Robbie's. Do you know what? I think Robbie's right.
Yeah. I mean, I was
going to say,
it sounds logical. Yeah, but it sounds logical.
It makes sense. What you said. It makes sense.
Do you think he might have just said it the wrong way? That he actually meant to say it?
No.
Like what he was basically saying is every Premiership game is big. Every game is big, and I want them to win the next game as much as they do this one. Do you think he might have just said it the wrong way?
You don't say that before North London derby. Say it after the North London derby. Say it when we play Brentford. Say it when we play Man United. Don't say it when we play Chelsea and Arsenal. Just don't say it then.
And maybe
I just don't know why he's saying this. Just say, I know it means a lot to the fans and us and the players. We're going to do everything to try and get the results. Why are you coming out and saying this now? I can't get my head around it. Just say, we're up for it. We're going to try and win for you guys. As I say, the players are up for it. We know it means a lot to the fans, as I say, and I'm going to do my best as a manager to try and get the win on Sunday. Boom. Positivity. Fantastic. And it's who we are, mate. But just stop talking shit.
It's like on...
Can you bring that comment up from Shem Tan, who says, Ange knows about rivalries, but he's just playing it down because we don't have the mental strength to handle the game, right? I don't think it's about mental strength, because the reason we lost to Arsenal last year is because you didn't want to defensively change the tactics of zonal marking to man marking, which gave Arsenal 2 goals. And every Spurs fan, every fan in the world said, if we start Ben Davies at left back, Saka's going to rip him. And that's exactly to the letter what happened, right? Shem, I don't think it's about mental strength. I just think it's the way he set. If he just sets us up right, I think we can give most teams a bloody good game. I really do.
Because that isn't a bad 11 that we've got.
It's not a bad 11 at all.
It's better than the team Conte had. It's definitely better.
Much better. Much better.
10 times better. Bar Kane. Apart from that, it's significantly better. It's just do you know what? Why say anything, mate? Just shut the fuck up and say we got Arsenal tomorrow and nod and walk off. You know? Yeah. I think that would have come across better than what he said, mate. Just don't say nothing. I know.
Dan, it's so many things. It's the lack of quality in the front three. It's the midfield that we haven't improved. It's the inverted fullbacks. It's the set piece defending. It's the high line. Big up, Brian. It's not one thing. Inverted fullbacks, poor transfer window, high line, haven't fixed the midfield, set piece defending. If it was 1 or 2 things, it's a number of things that frustrates us, concerns us.
Our set pieces defending has improved a lot. You see, if you focus on something
let's judge that after the Arsenal game. Let's judge that after Arsenal, because Newcastle have never been good at set pieces under Eddie Howe. Leicester, let's be honest, they're in a relegation fight, and Everton is the worst Everton team I've ever seen come to white.
Everton.
they're
They're
just
getting
shit.
battered by everyone, right? So
That team is shit. That they're going to be fighting not to go down.
let's see how we do against set piece against Arsenal. If we come out of that game unscathed from set pieces, then I'm going to say, Eugene, I agree with you. I do agree with you.
Right.
We have improved.
That's
But
fair.
the inverted fullbacks, we haven't changed. The high line, we haven't changed. The front three aren't much better, in my opinion. And the midfield is still, I think it's still unbalanced. I don't think we have a balanced midfield three.
I mean, with what Angus has said here, yeah, tomorrow we, as in Arsenal, will play exactly the same way as we did last season.
So you should.
I totally
So you
agree.
should.
You will. And the funniest thing is, I mean, this one's more for just the fun of it. I do this one. I mean, Facebook, has got to be the most. There's got to be just the most imaginable one out there. I mean, I think Facebook is actually worse than X and everything with some of the people.
Check out Reddit. Reddit is special.
I don't even go on that one.
Reddit is special, man.
Yeah. Click the wrong button and you get the wrong description come up. I don't like Reddit. And
Reddit is it's wild.
Exactly. That's why I ignore that one. Like I said, click the wrong button and you get a description on how to do something you shouldn't. And I've had so many Spurs fans saying to me, yeah, but Arsenal will come at us all guns blazing like they do with everyone. That's how they play and that. And I'm like, no. The difference is they have a plan B, basically. And they will just sit back on that one and wait for us to make the mistake. And they'll catch us on the counter. And same Spurs, different game, same shit, different day. Brian, how we doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Not sleeping again, but hey ho, who needs sleep? Who needs sleep when it's North London Derby weekend?
Me, a lot of it.
I hope everyone else is doing good and I hope everyone has a great weekend. Yeah, just a small game tomorrow, isn't it?
It's just another game, isn't it? Just another game. So, with everything I've gone and said here, so you got a big part to go through now quickly. I'll just go through quickly with what Ange just said. We're not willing to change for no one. We're going to stick to the same way we've done. We attack, which means we concede more. He's perfectly fine with that. I mean, we've got Solanke and VDV back by the look of it. And that he's going to be extremely upset if players want to win the Arsenal game more than the Coventry game. Go for it.
Oh, mate. Well, do you know, the first thing I will say, do you know what it is as well? I think as a football club now, we micro-analyse absolutely every fucking thing that's said. Everything. Listen, Ange Postecoglou, compared to the shit that I used to hear from Conte and Jose and on repeat, it is quite refreshing to hear we're going to be positive, we're going to attack, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But he sometimes, you know that saying, I've gone past the point of no return, so I'm going to, or as they said in my Mastermind, I've started, so I'll finish. I think he gets halfway through a sentence and he doesn't think where he's going with this because listen, when he says if the players want this more than other games, do I agree with it? As a fan, hell fucking no. Hell no. This game, every single one in the Tottenham Stadium, the Levy Bowl, whatever you want to bloody well call it, or if it was at the Emirates, every single fan would want to run through a brick wall for this game. This game means more than anything, minus some people will say Chelsea. The fans will run through this like a brick wall. We will die, we will cheat, we will beg, we will steal to get 3 points. End of when it comes. The players, they've got a responsibility to try and win all 38. They're not going to. They're not going. They know how big this game is to the fans. It's another 90 minutes. Yes, the players know how big this game is. Yes, they know this is the most important game. But going over the top with Peter, I'm not saying that. Just going, oh my God, he's so out of order for saying if we're this game, I want us to win the cup. I want us to win the Carabao Cup.
Mm-hmm.
I want us to take that Coventry game damn fucking seriously. Damn seriously. To me, that's just important as the North London Derby for the players. For the fans, it means NLD all day long. But for the games, now when he says the defending will score more, that's just lunacy. That is just pure straight up lunacy. This ain't Ozzy Ardiles. Ozzy Ardiles didn't work. Kevin Keegan didn't work. There has to be some balance. There has to be some balance. But where he said that, mate, we've just got okay.
Yeah, Brian's just a happy clapper, mate. You obviously watch a lot.
He goes on every single show, and if you say a positive word about Ange, Ricky Osvaldo, who is another guy, I guarantee if you put the link in, wouldn't come on talk because all he does is go on all the streams.
He'll never come on. He'll never.
No, of course he won't, because all he does is says Daigle happy clapper or Ange out, or if someone says a positive thing about Ange, they're happy clappers. They're happy clappers because they hear what they want to hear. But what we do right now as a fan base, on a whole, is just micro-analyze everything. If Ange Postecoglou did an interview at 11:59 and it went over to midday and he said good morning, this fan base would go fucking mad, going, "Oh my God, he doesn't even know if it's morning or afternoon." That's what this fan base do. And people like that want to come in and just go, "Brian happy clapper." This guy means nothing to me. And if he thinks I'm a happy clapper, if he thinks I'm a happy clapper, fair play to you. You really need to look up the dictionary or the term happy clapper, because I'm as pretty much far from it as could possibly be. But what I do now, as I've said, is I pick my battles. This is called the Hotspur hood, not the Levy hood. Stell's channel is called Tottenham Away, not Levy Away. My channel is called Tottenham on Tour, not Levy on Tour. Robbie is Lily White Lane, not Levy Lane. Eugene is Spurs Asian, not Levy Asian. Fuck's sake.
Levy Asian.
We are Levy TV. What the hell have we become as a fan base?
Brilliant.
Where you have dickheads that come in like this and go, "Brian's a happy clapper," because that's real big talk. Because I've come on and said I back my manager. I back my manager. I have never, will never turn my back on him. Didn't do it for Nuno. Didn't do it for AVB. Do I think everything Ange says is bang on the money? No, I don't. Am I going to micro-analyze every little fucking detail? No, I'm not. Will I call out? Am I happy to hear that he wants to play attacking football? It's what this whole fan base wanted. It's what this whole fan base wanted when we had Conte and Jose. No. I hate this football. We need to go back to the Tottenham way. We go and do the Tottenham way. Oh, he's clueless. Yes, he needs to work on things. Absolutely, the man needs to work on some things. Without a fucking doubt. But now everyone just wants to micro-analyze and bitch about every little thing. Do I think him saying the players need to take this game or any other game more serious? Should they? If I was a Spurs fan and a player, of course I would. But he's like Stel and Eugene was saying, when you're talking about Pep Guardiola and when he gets involved in matches, it's at times of need. When Eugene was saying when he's a manager, he gets his people delegate. If he goes to the players, listen, run your fucking bollocks off at Arsenal. But against Coventry, just relax a bit. You don't relax. It's not as fuck off. He needs the players on song every single game. And the fat people that are just going mad at this now is getting ridiculous. Ridiculous that everyone is micro-analyzing. Yes, you can pick bits out, but have some goddamn balance and have a word with yourself about blooming literally psychoanalyzing and micromanaging every word this man says.
Brian, the problem is, though, we've had 25 years of failure. So all we can do is hold the chairman, the recruitment officers, the manager to account by the words they say, right? So when our manager says one thing and the opposite happens, what are we supposed to do? Like now, if we go and lose this North London derby, there's going to be a meltdown. Do we just forget what Ange just said? We're going to say, well, mate, you instigated this because you said it's just another game, you know? It's...
So what happens if it's on the other side? What happens if we go out and win it? All those people that go, that doesn't have a fucking clue. I look forward to them coming out and going, you know what, Ange is right.
If Ange goes and wins it, we have to say, big up.
Damn right.
We have to praise him.
We already said that.
What he's doing is he's building a rod for his back, though.
Still, that I agree with. Some of the things he said, like I said at the very beginning, but we're micromanaging every little thing. Where he said, score more goals, I'm not bothered about conceding. This is a team that's let in 63 goals and 61 goals in the last 2 seasons. That's alarming. That, I will say, Ange, what the hell are you talking about?
So do we not talk about it then when he says it?
No, you can. But when people are going nuts about literally him telling the players that this game is the same as any other game, for the players, it bloody well is. It's for the fans.
Yeah, but that's
No,
not what
I
Madison said midweek. Madison said, we know what this game means.
Correct.
So this was my argument earlier on, because you've jumped kind of halfway on.
Yep.
I was saying you got the manager saying that to the players, and you got the players on
That I agree with you.
That's why we're microanalyzing it, because it's like, well, who's telling the truth here?
And the other thing, I'll go with that, Brian, is why do we actually microanalyze everything he says? Why do we do it? Why do Spurs fans do it? And like we're saying, a lot of
allowing
things.
the chairman to hire and fire managers and do everything.
No. I disagree with that one, Brian. I disagree with that one. Yeah. Why do we do it? Why do we actually do it? Well, maybe because he's chat so much shit already and contradicted himself so many times that we've took it in and held him to his word, and it's just been contradiction after contradiction after bullshit, and then goes and totally changes it to try and cover his ass, and then goes and changes it back, which basically drops him back in it, and then goes and says something which at the end of the day is an extremely silly thing to go and say to the public. I get it. Every game is a big game. We said that. It's the Premiership, this and that. But everybody knows that this Arsenal game, for the fans, like you said,
exactly,
is like a final, yeah?
That's correct.
My man should know that. So what the fuck is he doing going on TV saying that he'd be upset if we're not hyped up for the Coventry game as much as the Arsenal? Yes, okay. Logic-wise, we should be hyped up for every game. But when it's a rivalry like that, you don't go and say something like that on bloody TV. Would he have done that with Celtic and Rangers? Would he have done that in Italy with AC Milan and Inter Milan? Would he have done that in Turkey with Fenerbahce and who's the other one? Galatasaray. You don't go and do that. I get what he's saying. There is actually a solid point to it, but you don't go and say that on fucking TV. Same as you don't go and say to a load of blood-hungry Spurs fans that are screaming so hard to just pull a trophy, like when you haven't had it for 5 years and you're down the pub and you don't care who you go home with. We are that bloody desperate. And he goes and makes statements like, I want to be challenging for the title next season.
Yeah, he should.
And then goes and makes another challenge.
Listen, he shouldn't be saying that.
No, so we can't just pick at what we want to sort of thing. I'm basically picking out everything he said. And yeah, we are microanalyzing it. I get where you're coming from. But it's because he's done it to himself.
By the way, I'm not mainly talking about all you guys here. Or
no, I know,
you go across. You go across.
How dare you, Brian? How dare you?
Oh, listen, mate, you're off.
Right.
You
happy clapper.
Always say, and I've said it many a time, when I'm wrong, I'll come on and say I'm wrong. When praise is due, I will give praise. What I don't like is when everyone, especially on X or whatever social media, flap their gums, run their mouth, give it all the large, but then when something good happens, they won't come out and go, oh, do you know what? I did this wrong, or I got this wrong. The player did this, or Ange did this, or whoever it may be. They just don't say anything. They just go quiet. They disappear.
I agree, yeah.
Like what's happened with David Pleat. The thing with David Pleat, all of a sudden, all the people that try and defend Mr. Lee, a couple of the normal dickheads come out. No one's got a word to say. They won't go say, do you know what? Levy's done wrong here or whatever. They'll just go away and hibernate. With this fan base is literally, we're a parody. If you watch if anyone has seen the movie The Truman Show, I'm sure if you're born a Tottenham fan, you're part of The Truman Show, and this is the biggest social experiment. And there is someone up there just laughing, going, "Oh my God, look what he said today! Oh, look what he did." They've got this is the Big Brother diary room of the Tottenham Hotspur world, and this is a parody.
Brian, I tell you why, right? I'm not saying us here. I tell you why.
Correct.
A big chunk of the Spurs fans, right, micro-analyze everything he says now is because he did it on himself with the MCT game last season. So when he did that, right, a lot of fans started to go on and actually look into what the words he's saying. So I guess he brought it on himself. You see, it started last season because he went for he went for half of the Spurs fan base, or more than that, right? And then he created such a big divide, right? And now a lot of Spurs fans are taking him word for word. But I already said it last season. He already said it. This is his way, right? And he will die on that hill with this way. So, like I said, I'm just sitting down and wait, right? Because he hasn't had the players to play the way he needs to play. So we are just sitting down for a bus crash again. That's all. If by miracle he turns everything around and we win something this season, my God, I'll be happy. Most probably I'll buy a plane ticket and I'll join you for the trophy parade. Yay!
I'll be at the Scotland Yard.
I mean, with what the fellas just said here, if Spurs win, rather our fans will say this is a weak Arsenal team, so no credit. Well, for me, that's bollocks.
No, they will.
I can only talk for myself. I can only talk for myself here, yeah? I'm talking for myself, not the Spurs community. For me, that will be bollocks. For the sheer reason is I will be sitting here happy as a pig in shit that we have just done Arsenal. And yeah, okay, they're missing two main players, but you look at the squad they've got, significantly better than ours, and they do preach about how the squad is good enough to cover their injuries and everything. I'll be happy as, and I'll big up Ange and say, do you know what, mate? We won this one, fair play. Proper happy with you, proper happy with the team. Even if we play absolute shit and win it, I'll still be happy. Yes, I'll pick out some poor points, but I will pick out the point. Well done. Like Brian said, I'll give credit when credit is due. And when it is bad, I will say it's bad. It's just sadly with Spurs, there is a lot more to say bad than there is about good.
Avishek's wrong here because when we won 10 games in a row, no one was complaining. And we were winning just by one goal, right? No one was complaining. No one was saying, oh, we were 1-0 down to...
that was the start of his reign. That was the start of his reign. Now people are going for Ange. If we win, there will be sections of this fan base, guaranteed, and you know it still, guaranteed, there'll be sections of this fan base. And don't get me wrong, there'll be filth. All the filth will go, oh, you beat us at our weakest.
I think it depends how we win, right? If we win and we've got 70% possession, 20 shots on goal, 10 on target, a penalty saved, free chances converted, and all the stats say, do you know what? Spurs took it to them. I don't think anyone's got any legitimacy to say it's because Arsenal were weak, right? But if it's like a close game and Arsenal were the better team and we nicked it, then yeah, maybe. I think it depends how we win that will decide it. For me, listen, I don't care how we win it, even if they go down to 9 men, right? Because when Chelsea went down, when we went down to 9 men to Chelsea, no one gave a shit. So I don't care how we win. If we win tomorrow, I will praise Ange, I'll praise the players, and I'll say, do you know what? That's what I expect.
And
they're the second best team in the country. They're the second best squad in the country.
Correct.
Right? So I'll praise us. 100% I will.
Yeah, most genuine Spurs fans will, though. I think you've got, sections of the fan base, if we lose tomorrow as well, sure the other thing, who won't say anything negative necessarily. We're moving in the right direction and won't assess what went wrong on the day. Just like if we win, there will be some fans on social media somewhere who will be saying that we didn't play well and not enjoying it. But I think a large majority of Spurs fans, if we win tomorrow, like Dan said, we'll be happy as pig in shit. And if we lose tomorrow, we'll be pissed off for the rest of the day, probably the rest of the week, in all honesty. But going back to
Robbie, it's how we lose. Robbie, it's how we lose. If it's that ball over the top, Newcastle part 2 again, mate, we're all going to lose the plot because we know it's our own downfall. We know it's a tactical, it's a managerial failure. It's players not being able to play the system. Or if Romero or Ogie switches off, we're going to lose it. We're going to lose the plot, aren't we? It's who we are, mate.
The other thing is, when it comes to a game, for me, there's always like everything out there, whether it's a story, whether it's a game, whether it's a film, whether it's whatever, there's always two sides, 3 sides usually, 4 even sometimes. And even if we go and win a game 3-0, call it negative, I will still be one who picks out the negative parts of the game as well as the good points. Why do you do that? I do it because you can win a game 3-0 and you can still see if there's blatantly problems in your team. And how do you fix problems? You acknowledge problems, you look at problems, and then you fix problems. So we might go and win 3-0, but I will still pick out the bad points as well and not just stick on one side and say, but we're still doing that and that wrong, and that could have cost us, but we got it lucky there, because I just won't ignore the bad points. If we go and win it 5-0, I don't care about any bad points. We've won it 5-0. Who gives a fuck? But for me, you've got to pick out both sides of it. Even when you do win, even when you lose, you can still pick out positive parts when you lose. But I like to see the whole game as it is. And like I said, if you want to fix problems, you got to look at the problems. And if it just means Arsenal can't finish properly tomorrow and they catch us over the top again and again and again, but they just can't finish and we win it 2-0, I'm still going to be happy as a pig in shit that we won. But I'm blatantly going to sit here and say we were fucking lucky that Arsenal could not finish because they was over the top again and again and again. The same problems I've seen in every game. And we got it lucky. But hey, we won. So good finishing, whatever else. You got to pick out both sides, surely.
Mate, there's a big difference when you talk about. I mean, when you're talking about the match, of course, it's all. Once those players cross the white line, it's game on, obviously, and the players need to be held accountable. They need to show up. They need to be. Look, Stella and I went to the Emirates last season for the 2-2. My first ever time at the Emirates. Been to Highbury many a time, just hadn't been to the Emirates. I went to that game, and when people were saying, "What do you want from that game?" I said, "You know what? Normally we fall apart at the Emirates, and the last few under Nuno, Conte, even Jose, and a couple with under Poch, we've gone there and taken absolute hammerings and been absolute. We've just got stage fright, and it's been a weak performance." I said, "Do you know what? I just want to go to the Emirates and say I was there when we put in a performance where every single man gave everything for 90 minutes. If we win, fantastic. If we draw." And if we lose, better team won. Still will vouch for it. It's probably one of the best performances of last season. 2-2 draw. It was an incredible performance. In fact, we should have won. Should have won. It was a penalty or not. It was a penalty. Romero. That game, we were magnificent. Basuma, magnificent. I was absolutely so proud of the lads. And then we go and play them at our stadium and we capitulate in the first half and rally around. The levels the players need to be on tomorrow are of an all-time high, and they just need to go out and give their best and literally make sure they're all on their A game. And I want to see people like Heung-min Son, if we aren't playing well, and the leadership team, so not just Heung-min Son, but as he's captain, they need to get about the players. They need to be like a Tony Adams, a Roy Keane, a Vieira, and rallying the troops. I don't mean like the old school grabbing people by the neck or whatever. The on-field leaders need to be exactly that tomorrow for us to have a chance. They need to lead. If we play like we did at the Emirates, we'll give them a run for their money and hopefully win. If we play like we did last season at the Hotspur Stadium, we're in big trouble. Big trouble.
Okay. I can agree. I can pretty much agree with everything you've said. We really do have to sort out this defense issue with it. But what do you three think on what I said, basically? Like, even if you do go and win a game, you've still got to pick out the bad points of the game if it wants to be fixed. Because surely Alex Ferguson, even when they smashed games 4-1, 4-0, 5-0, I'm willing to bet money on it that he still went into the dressing room, and I'm only going by his autobiography that I've read, which is very, very good. The first one they done for him. And he still went in there and give them a bollocking, even though they won 5-0, for certain mistakes that players made that they shouldn't be making. And then he'd say to them, like, yeah, 5-0, I'm happy with it, but Roy Keane, you should have done this. Gary Neville, why did you do that? Beckham, why didn't you do this? And he will still pick out the points that need to be fixed. Or do we just totally ignore that and just be happy overall?
I think
on that?
I think Sava hits the nail on the head in the chat. It's about consistency. We can't be winning one, losing one, drawing one, winning one, losing one, drawing one. There needs to be an element of consistency at Spurs. You know, with Poch, we had consistency. With Redknapp, we had an element of consistency. When Conte first came to the club, his first 6 months, we had consistency. That's what makes people believe. That's what makes people think, you know what, we're onto something here. When you get completely, when Leicester suddenly just put pressure on you and you look like you're going to capitulate, and then the following week you go and destroy Everton, and then the next week you do quite well at St James's Park, but then the same defensive errors and tactical setups that cost you all of last season come back to haunt you. You don't know where you are. You don't know what to expect, and that's inconsistent. Tomorrow, let's say we go and beat Arsenal tomorrow. Big up, Sava. Let's say we go and beat Arsenal tomorrow. We beat them 2-1. We're going to be joyful, jubilant, yeah. And then we go and lose to Brentford the next week. We're like, well, what's the fucking point of beating Arsenal? So we need to go on a 10-game run where the football is dominant, controlling. Defensively, we look fairly solid. The forward line is scoring goals. We said, you know what? We're onto something here. Can we keep this team fit now? Can we keep the momentum going? But when it's draw, win, lose, draw, win, lose, what's the manager doing? What are these players about? So for me, like, big ups, Heather. I think it is about consistency, and consistency leads to momentum, and momentum normally leads to good things because you're on that run, and that's what Spurs need. In the last, since Poch left, when's the last time we had a good run of like 20, 25 games where we said, fucking hell, man, can't wait to go to the game? Now we're sitting here, bit divided about the media, bit divided about Ange's comments, bit divided about players, tactics, strategies. Will we win? Should we win? Can we win? It's because there's no consistency at the club, is there? And it starts at the top, by the way. You know, we had a fairly good transfer window last year. Can we be more consistent and do it again? And then we have an absolutely bang average transfer window this year. So it's difficult. It's difficult as a Spurs fan to just be genuinely super excited when there's no consistency in what we're doing.
13 league games out of the last 31 we've won as well. So yeah, it's hard to completely back it.
Yeah, spot on.
You all right, Sava? How you doing?
Savalicious.
Yeah. I just my ACCA was absolutely shocking. It was, so I thought I'd jump on and forget football for a minute by talking about football and talking about Spurs. I
was having a good morning till I watched your show. I was chilling out, and then saw what you put on there. I know you weren't chatting BS, but I had to go and look at it myself.
1-0 Forest.
Yeah.
Yep.
Still, that was about 5 minutes ago.
Well, he has got Farmers Green broadband. So,
I've got McDonald's Wi-Fi. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
I had
he's just finding out that Jose's been sacked.
1-0 Brentford.
Yeah, Dan, I think, look, do you know what? I've been listening to you guys whilst watching Gillette Soccer Saturday and that, and I think the thing that really surprises me about this fan base is results don't matter, playing style don't matter, nothing matters unless you like the manager. And what I mean by that is this. If Tim Sherwood, AVB, Nuno, One Day Ramos had a spell as bad as we're in right now, right? Conceded the goals we do right now without changing it, had the transfer windows we'd had, the whole entire fan base is, I want Nuno out, right? I want AVB out. This guy has the best PR machine I have ever seen in football. For someone who's done nothing at all to warrant the love and the praise that he gets, because his results aren't good, his team can't defend, and going forward, we're quite lackluster. But he goes out there, says the right things, and everyone goes, it's different this time. I don't know what's different. Dan, we can't defend. And then the manager goes on record as saying, yeah, don't worry about that. don't worry about that. I don't mind conceding goals. Then tells us that we need a winning mentality whilst saying, I don't mind conceding goals. We'll just score more than the other team. then says we need better forwards, but then continues to sign the Odebergs, the Brennan Johnsons, the Valises, the Solomons, and yada, yada, and Timo Werner again. I don't understand when we stopped being a fan base that liked truth. When did we become this fan base that had to pander to this PR machine of he's a nice guy, he says mate a lot, and therefore it's really going to work, give him time. And sorry, Dan, let me finish my vent, right? What pisses me off is if one more fan tells me, be patient, he's only had a year. Unai Emery went into Aston Villa. From day one, Unai Emery at Aston Villa had them top four in the form table all the way throughout his tenure at Aston Villa. Do you know that? He's been in the top four for over 60 games. He's been in the top four of form, and he took them over when they were 17th. And then you've got Ange, whose results are going like this, and we're all going, it's all right. It's all right because we have a lot of possession, right? What does that mean? It's all right. We press well, right? So do loads of other teams. They press well. It's okay. We've had loads of shots. All right. Nottingham Forest have had more shots than us this year. What does that mean? That we should go and support them? I just don't know what the hype is. I'll shut up now, but I don't know what the hype is, guys, around Ange Postecoglou, other than the fact that we just don't want to keep sacking managers. This guy is nothing special at all, has done nothing to change anything at the club. We collapse the moment a goal goes in against us. We can't defend. His record against the top six is 1-2, drawn 3, lost 5. He's lost more than he's won in his last 35 games of football. He's conceded more than he's scored in his last 35 games of football. What has this guy done? Why is he loved?
I agree. I mean, you say he's got the best PR. I'm going to disagree with that. I think he's got the worst PR there actually is in the aspect of the way he says everything and that. I mean, like I've said enough times, he's got no feet left the amount of times he shot himself in it. But in the other way, he must have the best PR because how does he get away with it?
Because Dan, that's why his PR is brilliant. He comes out and says things like he said yesterday. Fans like me, you and Stell, I won't speak for everyone else on the panel, fans like me, you and Stell would turn around and go, oh, shut up, mate, you're chatting shit, right? What are you talking about? Other fans go, see, Ange thinks we can challenge for the title. See? And Ange isn't worried about the defence, therefore you shouldn't be Sava. Sorry, mate, his PR is sensational. This guy is adored. I put a comment into a chat show about a week ago saying, I can't wait for this guy to leave. I just think he's rubbish. And there was an Arsenal fan and a Man United fan on the panel said, what do you mean? This is your best manager for decades. But on what? Based on what? Feel-good factor? That he says, mate, that he kicks the ball forward instead of backward? I just don't know what he does to get this love. And I'll caveat this. We could beat Arsenal tomorrow. It doesn't change my mind because Stell was bang on. It can't be we win a game and everyone goes delirious. We need to win, and then we need a 10-game run where we win 5, draw 3, maybe lose a couple, right? Because I'm not stupid enough to think we're not going to lose. But we win one game and we beat Everton. Everyone's messaging in, people like me and Stell going, look at you guys. Look at us. Look how great we were. Yeah, we beat shit Everton. Like, it blows my mind. This fan base blows my mind. Sorry.
I mean, it's like something Brian said earlier, which I agreed with, but also disagreed with. Because I think he's got a solid point on what he says, that we microanalyze literally everything he says. But there is a reason to why we do it. Basically, because of all the crap he has actually come out with. But I also think Brian is right, that we do literally pick on every point he says.
Because every point he says, right, every point this man says it's never in the middle here. It is so boom. It is there's no reason we can't challenge for a title, right? I'm not worried about the defense. It's like, whoa, like, mate, shut up. go on the training pitch, teach this lot how to defend, stop conceding silly goals, and then let your football do the talking. But instead, he comes out with all of these things. And Dan, we've had this chat. Me and Stella have had this chat. Over here on this hand is brilliant. It's 100% all good vibes from Ange. What he's doing over here in match days, tactics, is all very, very different. So he's saying the right things and the fans are gobbling it up. But the fans seem to be ignoring this side, which is, I don't know if anyone agrees, the most important thing is on the pitch. So for me, this guy, I can't stand him. I think he chats so much shit and he should be managing back in Scotland. I don't rate him one bit. Sorry.
Cool. Definitely gone
I don't
down
rate
for
him.
you then.
Don't rate
I
him
must
at
admit, I'm struggling with our man as well. I mean, Cam says here, some people hate popular people. That's a reflection of them. I don't know whether to take that as sarcasm or serious. I mean, one thing I will
this
say,
guy's just an Ange follower.
Okay.
There's no.
What's interesting about this is I've got a very popular channel. The last time I checked, it's in the top 5 most subscribed Spurs YouTube channels. So if you dislike me, then is that a reflection on you, Cam, as a popular channel? Just asking for a friend.
I mean, on the other side of it as well, I mean, you can pretty much say anything to me. It just really don't bother me in the slightest. But one word that I must admit that I don't like.
Yeah, but Dan, do you know what?
This
comment, we're not allowed to criticize a manager. We're not allowed to question what manager says. Like, it's not like we just did it for Ange. We did. Fans did the same with Poch the 3 months before he got fired. They were questioning him. Fans did it throughout Jose, throughout Conte's reign, throughout Nuno's reign. Ryan Mason, twice when he got the job. This isn't anything new that we're doing.
It's like I said, you've got to pick out the good and the bad points.
We question and criticize Levy every single season. Every season. Like,
yeah, I'll hold him to his word, though. When he's saying that he wants to go for the league title, then I'll question why he's bringing in players such as Archie Gray and Oliver who aren't going to get us to those levels. When he's saying, as I say, that we can do all of this and that every signing is his, I'll question the players that we've brought in. I'll give him credit personally for the things that he does right, because there have been some. But for me, as I say, we've been on a sustained run of terrible form under Ange. You know, he constantly contradicts himself with what he says. And then if you hold him accountable and hold him to his word, then you're negative and you expect him too much. You know,
basically,
if I want Spurs to go for the league now and we lose a few games and I go, okay, we're not going for the league, I'm pissed off, I'll get called negative, delusional. I'm going off what that manager said. All of these people calling me negative and delusional.
But do you know the problem is, mate? Do you know what the problem is? He'll say there's no reason we can't challenge for the title. These fans that follow him as though they've never watched a game of football before or never seen a manager before, right? When we don't challenge for the title, they won't hold him to account. I'm holding him to account. You are saying there's no reason we can't challenge for a title. All right, then, mate. Let's see. So when Man City are on 15 points after 15 games and we're stuck back on 6 or 7 and we've got 8 points to catch up on, why not? Why are we 7 or 8 points behind them then, Ange? You said there's no reason, but they don't. These same fans, right? Last year, this is the chronological order of these fans that don't have any thinking for themselves. Was, oh my God, we're in a title challenge under Ange, we can win the league. As soon as that started to not happen, oh, but it's the injuries, right? When all those players came back, oh, but you know, it takes time for players to come back. Don't worry, we're going to have a great summer. We have a bad summer and it's, oh, but Ange hasn't been backed. Any player that works out, oh, Ange wanted this one, right? This year will be the same. This year will be the same. Anytime we lose, there is an excuse as to why Ange has lost. Oh, it's individual mistakes. It's this. It's never him. It's never his tactics. It's never his substitutions. This man is adored to a ridiculous point, and his stats are worse than Sherwood's, than AVB's, than Nuno's. He's got worse stats than all these managers, and for some reason, he's loved more. And I just, no one holds him to account.
For certain situations, the way I personally look on things, there's reasons and then there's excuses. It's quite a thin line. Certain things can happen, but there is a reason to it. Other things can happen and people would just make an excuse to it. With what the fella just said here, the one thing I don't like is the word hate. I won't show no hate to nothing. Why? Because if I hate something, it's blatantly taking up too much emotion inside of me. So nothing on the planet has got that right for me to hate it. I can fucking dislike it and say, see you what, mate, see you next Tuesday or Thursday, whatever turns you on. But I won't hate anything, because if I'm hating something, they've got in there too much. That's why I don't hate. But I don't think he's good enough. Another thing, quick, with what he does and what he says, the way I look on it, it's like, let's say a 13, 14-year-old boy, and his parents or his uncle or his granddad and that has offered him, has said, right, for Christmas, I'm going to get you a PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 5 Pro, which is coming out. He's all hyped up, looking forward to it. And then he opens his box and sees a fucking Nintendo there.
Dan, you need to do your own show with just your analysis and your analogies of things. Call it Dan's Corner or something, because they are brilliant.
Yeah, but guys, I can tell you the truth, right? All this, right, is just a distraction. Ange is a distraction. Why? Because now, to tell the truth, right, we are not done this in a long time, right? We are not gone against this guy and this company up here in a long time. So I think this is the distraction that the PR, machine is churning out. Right?
No, that's too easy, man. You can't blame the style of play that we're playing. I'm not blaming that on Daniel Levy. I'm sorry. Look, he's got.
No, I'm not saying blaming Levy or anything, but don't you see? Our focus now is on something else. Move the camera to the other side.
But listen, I understand the Levy ENIC out thing, right? And I'm leaving ENIC out. But I'm sorry, that sort of response is why people don't take the Levy out argument seriously. Daniel Levy's given this guy
the way I do things. It's the exact reason.
That it is, because he's given him nearly £400 million to spend. He's bought very average players, and he plays a criminal high line. If you had a proper manager in here right now, we're not playing that high line. We're not conceding all those goals. Suddenly, you're going to see Romero defend the way he defends for Argentina. Right? You're not going to see Porro and a doggy on the halfway line when other teams are attacking us. I feel like it's a look. Sorry, Eugene. We'll agree to disagree. I hate ENIC. I hate Levy. But for me, this is on Ange. We've got better players than the results we've been getting for the last 10 months. For me, sorry.
No, it's on Ange. I know it's on Ange. But what I'm saying, the whole scheme of it, that's what I see. That's in my view. That's in my opinion. But I got another more serious question is, right, with all the goals that we've been conceding, right, don't you think defenders have pride in keeping clean sheets and all that? I think sooner or later, right, Romero, VDV, right, and our back line, they're going to crack, bro. Because every time when a mistake happens or something, when we concede, right, they are being analyzed like crazy, and it shows all their defects. So that's another big fear I have.
Do you know, Dan, before you came on YouTube, right, I was on Tottenham TV, and on a live show, like one of the watch-alongs, Iggy and I were doing it, and I turned around to Iggy on the live show, and I said, there's no way this Spurs team will get top four. No chance. Arsenal are too good, blah, blah, blah. And then I made a bet with Iggy, and it was a running theme on all the channels. 3 games to go. We were 4 points behind Arsenal. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Arsenal bottled it, and we got top 4 under Conte. Okay? I had to come on a live show with an Arsenal kit, and I got rinsed. I got absolutely torn to pieces. My point is, if I'm proven wrong, I will accept whatever's thrown at me. However, what I dislike in this Spurs community and with comments you see from a lot of fans is when you're right, silence. And Brian said it earlier. Where's all those people that praised Daniel Levy, said he's the best thing we've ever had? What a wonderful chairman. None of them came out when the whole thing with David Pleat was spoken about last week, right? And what I've noticed is every year we win nothing. And every year we failed to even compete, bar a few seasons. There's never any, do you know what? I see your point of view. You know what? You are right. It does keep happening. And now that I'm seeing a man who I think defensively is inept, and he's accepted mediocrity by saying, yeah, it's okay to have Odegaard. it's okay to re-sign Werner. I'm going to persist with Brennan Johnson. I actually think Kulusevski can play out wide. And my opinion is these players will never be good enough. And the tactics don't work defensively. Defensively, I'm talking about. So because of that, I have the opinion, I don't see what's different. I don't see what's changing. Are we more attacking? Are we more on the front foot? Are we more aggressive? Yeah, I think we are. But is that the kind of change, that alone, that's going to win us silverware and keep us top four like Poch did? I don't think so. But because you've got that view, it's almost like you've got to get destroyed for it because you're prepared to have that view. And like I've said many times, Dan, I've been right 10 years in a row about this club, except the year that Conte got us top four, and I completely got that wrong. And I took my desserts, and I got the pie thrown in my face. You see, I don't know what's happened to this club now. It's almost like we cannot genuinely say something, even when we can back it up. We're not allowed to do it because it's like against the YouTube law. It's some kind of social media sin to have a critical opinion.
The 10 YouTube commandments, still, you're breaking them.
I agree. I mean, I agree. You're right on what you're saying.
Thou shall not be negative.
Mate,
the way I see things,
Highline for life.
I still used to say both the YouTube Bible.
we might need more. So listen, I've got to go. I've got to get ready for a baby shower of all things. What I will say, you mentioned David Pleat still. Like I've said, when there's things to give credit for, I will say big up to the Supporters Trust, because I don't know if you've seen, they have actually managed to put on a book signing, a book evening for David Pleat in October, because our beloved club can't do it because of official publishers. So fair play to the Trust for stepping up and doing that. I will say Stel laters, Eugene laters, Savalicious laters.
Take care.
Robbie laters, Dietrich's laters, Dan brother laters, David Pleat, Blue White Army. And as always, Levy out.
Levy
Take care, mate.
Levy out.
I mean, one thing I look on, and this ain't just football, this is one aspect that I follow in my life as such, very, very, very deeply. If you're right, you're right. You're wrong, you're wrong. I don't give a fuck who you are. I've been in pubs with very, very close friends. One who is literally like a brother to me. And he's having a debate with someone. And the person he's having the debate with, I really did not like the fella one bit. But my mate was wrong. And I had to stand there and tell him, you're wrong. I agree with the other fella. I couldn't stand the other fella. Give me half a chance, he wouldn't have walked out of the pub. But he was right. So I made him right over my close friend. But my close friend also does that to me. I'd do the same to my wife. If she was standing there having a debate with someone and she was wrong, I would tell her she is wrong in front of that person. Or if she's right, I'll make her right. I cannot go by this bullshit, basically, of just making someone right for the make of someone right. I will fight my debate all the way that I'm right. But if you give me a fact, it's time for me to shut up and put my hands up. Do you know what? You got me. You're right. With opinions, even if you give a better opinion than me, I'm willing to take it in and step down, as long as I think it is a better opinion. But the fan base, they can't even handle facts, let alone opinions. And it's like what you say, you're not even allowed your own opinion. I mean, it's almost like it's fucking political these days. If you're not too keen on the way Ange's playing, you're go on.
That's what I hate. Is some things are facts, some things are opinions. And I think I saw Stel do a show on this the other day when he was actually saying, like, you know, it's a fact. Last year City won the league. None of us can change that fact, whether we like it or not. It's a fact that Klopp won. I think you were saying this still, weren't you? Like, it's a fact. Klopp won the Champions League with Liverpool. The problem is when people go, oh, I'll use myself, right, by the way, just because I don't want to get anyone else. Sava, you've got to understand other people have opinions. Sure. But when I'm bringing out results to back up what I'm saying, I don't know how people can argue it. Like when people are saying, you know, just believe it will come good. And it's like, cool, I need to see it. And I don't mean one game. I don't mean that we put on a good show tomorrow.
See it to believe it, innit?
Yeah. I need some evidence. Not, Oh my God. Like I've seen how many YouTubers in the last 2 weeks do videos on the stats versus Newcastle and why we were better this season than last season, even though we lost both games.
There's one stat that matters. 2-1. That's the only
Spurs
stat that
are
matters.
frightening. Spurs are scary.
But the fact is, right, that we are so not used to winning that we are now using the fact that, oh, we conceded less shots to Newcastle in this defeat than the last defeat. We're using that as a barometer of improving. Like
that was terrible. I found that was embarrassing.
It's mental.
No, I couldn't get over that one. For me, that one is embarrassing as a supporter in the aspect that your supporters will sit there and say, "Oh yeah, we might have lost, but we only lost 2-1. At least it weren't 4-1. We had more chances, whatever." And I'm just like, "Fuck off, mate. We lost a game that we should have fucking won." No. We didn't concede. We didn't concede 4 goals or 7 goals, so it was a better game, wasn't it? Just, mate, we lost. End of. Like, deal with it. I can't. That one pisses me right off. I must admit. You just do think, okay, we had the better game and everything and that, but we still lost at the end of the day. But to go and say that, oh yeah, at least we didn't win 4-1 though, so it's an improvement, for me, that's just bollocks.
Mate,
I can't.
It's
I
crazy.
can't do that one.
The thing is, people don't take into account as well, like context. And what I mean by that is when I hear already people going, oh my God, well, look, if you look at the first 3 games, we're top of this stat, top of that stat, top of stat. We've played Leicester City and Everton. Like, I'm not being funny, but can we at least wait until we've played some of the top 5 or 6 before we start talking about, oh my God, we're top for presses, we're top for this. Listen, after 10 games, if we're in that top 4 comfortably, and we're right up there with the Liverpools and the Arsenals and the Cities, and we've got all these amazing stats, people like me, I can't talk for anyone else, I have to sit there and go, fair enough. But if after 10 games, we're really far away from that top 4, and we're still letting a lot of goals, right? None of these people will ever turn around and go, yeah, I'm actually a bit concerned, because it's year 2. At the end of year 2, Dan, it's going to be his 3rd year his 3rd year. That's the year. What are we doing here? He's the only manager in the world not judged on results. It is absolutely crazy. And if Chelsea were doing this, right? If Chelsea were doing this, if Arsenal were doing this, we would be sitting there going, God, they're a mess, aren't they? We wouldn't be looking at their underlying stats to tell us that they're actually going to come good. We'd be going, they're shit. They're absolutely shit. But no,
we would.
We did the same thing under Conte when we said, like, oh, we're playing like garbage, or look at the stats. They never backed them, but I don't know why Ange is getting so much praise and we're not even playing well.
Right, Dietrich, I'll come to you in a second to answer these questions that we've all asked. Just need to say to a comment here. Beth E at the Hotspur Hood. All right, so that's a blatant dig at me. Would never happen anyway, as I'm never wrong. We all know that depends on what. No.
This is one of your mods. This is one of your mods. You sure they're not joking, Dan?
No, that's my wife.
All right.
Come on.
So, as all I will say to that is 2 things: happy wife, happy life. And you know, it also depends on what I want that night. And with that, Dietrich, with everything that's been said there, not willing to change for no one. Attack, which means we concede more, but that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. And also saying that he'd be upset if players were more psyched out for this game than the Coventry game. What do you think on all that? Seems that everyone else had their opinion on that, and I hope you're all good anyway, mate.
No, I hope everyone's good. Happy Saturday, everyone. Tomorrow's a big day, so we'll see what's gonna happen. If we're gonna get pumped or we're gonna win, we'll see. But I think honestly this manager is clueless. I don't think he understands really what it matters to play Arsenal at home in the North London derby. Last time we lost 3-0 at home during the first half, and we managed to score 2 goals. I don't know how we did it. Sure, we can say like the bigger picture, the Coventry game is more important, but this game means a lot to fans, especially the ones that are paying like £500 a ticket. You can at least deliver a performance, minimum. I'm not saying go there and like I'm expecting a way. At least play your football and fix the minor issues, which is long ball over Udogi, and the highline. Can you drop it deep a bit? That's all I'm asking. But we all know he's not going to do that, so I'm expecting a loss, and we'll see against the Coventry game if he's going to make 12 subs.
Yep. And what do you think on the he knows we attack and we concede more goals, but that's fine. He's totally comfortable with it.
Did he say that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
No, he must be joking now.
I said he's
not.
he's a loser.
He's not. Dietrich's.
Who we are, mate.
It is what my man said. Like I said, I got up this morning, had a good 14 hours sleep last night. Well, I say this morning, this afternoon. This morning is a lie. It was this afternoon. I got up about 12:30, 1:45. Was in quite a good mood. Thought I'll have a cup of coffee. Just missed Sabbath show, so I thought I'd watch that. And I couldn't quite believe what he was saying. I'm sort of like same attitude. Like I knew it weren't BS, but I'm like, I just have to see this to believe it. So I've gone and checked it up on the net and watched the video and everything as well. And I'm just like, what the actual fuck? This man should just stick to doing what I do. Have a smoke before you go to bed. It's good. Chills you out. My neurologist says it's. I'm legal. I'm legal. My neurologist says I can.
He'd be a lot happier, wouldn't he, Ange?
And maybe he should just stop doing it before he does a talk, before like he speaks to the press, because surely this man's got to have smoked a couple or done something to say this before he goes to the press. So my thing was to him, Dietrich's, like the advice I gave him if he ever watches the show, just stick to having a smoke before you go to bed. Don't do it before a press conference. Go on.
You see, if it was Ryan Mason, I would get it. Like he's a rookie, like he's a bit like naive. But you're almost 60 years old and you say this crap. And you've been, let's say, in the field of football since you were 30 years old. It's been like almost 30 years old. 30 years you've been doing this. And you dare say this crap. Imagine if Ancelotti said this to the Madrid fans. Just imagine. He would, honestly, this guy would get absolutely thrown to pieces at Madrid if he said that. But now here, because we're happy clappers, nobody cares. And the fact he even said, I don't know if it's true, but he said we'll challenge him for the league this year.
Yes, he said that as well.
With Odegaard and Werner, is he an idiot?
He said his words were, "There is no reason why we can't challenge for the title this year." That was his exact phrase.
Do you know what?
You know when someone doesn't realise that they're the issue, yeah? When he's going, there's no reason why we can't challenge for the league title, yeah. Honestly.
Like,
Yeah,
honestly,
when you're on a train and something stinks and everyone, everyone can smell it apart from you, and then you go, it's me. I'm the stinky one.
No, you see, usually in that situation, I'll be the one who knows it and sits there giggling while everyone's sort of holding their breath, and I'll just be sitting there like, ha 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 ha. But I'm a fucking prick like that.
Dietrich's point there, like, you're so right. You wouldn't. He talks about winning mentality. You would never ever see Pep Guardiola come out in a press conference and say, "Yeah, it don't matter. I don't mind us conceding goals. We'll just score more." You know, Pep's got a clever football answer for it. You know, Pep changes things up like winning managers do. And the thing I want to ask him is this, and I want to ask this to all of our fans that keep telling me, "Don't worry. Once we score more goals, we won't have to worry about the back." First of all, the two things have got nothing to do with each other. The goals we concede are not because we don't put our chances away. Those two things, unless anyone disagrees with me, they're not linked. The two goals we conceded against Newcastle weren't anything to do with us missing chances. The goals we conceded to Newcastle was because of a dodgy line on the halfway line when no one seemed to know if they were meant to be coming or going, and 5 defenders in our own box, not marking any of Newcastle's attackers. So this notion that, oh, well, don't worry, once we score 2 or 3 of those chances, we're suddenly going to be better at the back. Still, help me out. You're a coach. That don't make sense. We're still going to concede goals on the transition.
I literally about 45 minutes ago did a whole defensive explanation. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. I broke it down, and all I got was someone in the chat telling me that rubbish, and bringing up some nonsense about Pep, and I just gave up.
Well,
That's what I said. It's PR, man.
No,
PR is amazing.
Because
what he's saying is, right, he's just telling us that he doesn't mind losing. You get what I'm saying? No? It's just.
Do you know the issue is when
you guys forget. No, but you guys forget he said when we quickly. You guys forget that he said when we wear the Tottenham badge, we have to play the Tottenham way, and the Tottenham way is always losing. So actually, he's doing his job.
Hey, we got a Tottenham badge.
I feel I might as well get the hammer out there, mate. That just smacked the nail on the fucking head.
I've just never seen a manager not held to account. Like it's just mental.
But guys, I got to make a move. Right, it's 12 a.m. here in Malaysia. Big up, Dan. Big up.
Take care of yourself,
Stella,
man. Good to see you.
Bobby. Big up, Beatrix. I'll catch you later.
Take care, brother.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
The issue is with Ange, right? When he speaks, he might not specifically say something, but it gives a suggestion that we should think something that we just don't believe in. So when he says we can still challenge for the league this year, based on what? We are currently 12th in the league. So right now, we are giving away some of the most outrageous gift-wrapped early Christmas present chances on a plate. Vardy practically had to hit the target from 3 yards out of a header to score. Isak, side pass, open goal. These are amazing high XG opportunities that we're giving away. So when you're seeing that, how am I supposed to think we might challenge for a league title? When I see the front line, missed chances, failed to create enough clear-cut chances, and the lack of quality that the teams that are most likely going to win the league, what they've got compared to us, why am I going to believe that? And I think what Ange is doing is he's saying things that are just so far-fetched for us to believe because...
Yeah, but then they're nice things. Our fan base wants to hear nice things. So when people are saying, believe in the project, it doesn't matter what the results of the project are. They just say, believe in it. Sure, okay, I'll believe in it. Next week, we won't win again. No, I'm just saying, the next week, you don't win again. But believe in it, because you know what? This week, what we're going to do is we're not going to talk about the result. We're going to talk about a metric which shows we're getting better, right? They want to hear that still. They do not want to hear the truth. Sky Sports would never, ever run a piece. Like, you know, when we did that show the other day and I put out all these facts about Tottenham, Sky Sports would never run a piece that actually shows how he is performing as a manager, because it doesn't help the narrative of this guy's different. This guy's a winner. This guy's changing things. But our fans don't want it. Now, when they tell me patience, I always ask the same question. Can someone tell me what is the date that I don't have to be patient anymore? Is it after 2 seasons? Is it when we get into the 3rd season? At what point do I have to stop saying, okay, I'll be patient, and I can actually go, well, hang on, the results are crap. If we lose tomorrow, that is, do you know, that's 4 wins in 16 games. If we lose tomorrow, any other manager at Tottenham who's got 4 wins in 16, they're sacked still. I can't remember another manager.
I know. I get it.
With that bad form that's kept their job. I don't know.
You know, I get it. The thing is, though, when you say when people say to you, get behind the project, right? Back the project. My response is, why?
Where's the evidence?
Well, I just say why. And what they then do is they say, well, don't you support Spurs? You never asked me who I support. I'm asking you asked me back the project. I'm saying, why should I back this project? Based on what? And all they can tell you is possession, shots at goal. And then it just unravels. The whole thing unravels. I want to get behind it. I want to back it. I want to be 100% Ange's the man. The transfers, I get where we're going. Trust the process, all that malarkey. But I see Brennan Johnson continue to flatter to deceive. Like he really is proving to be a flop. I see Richarlison, who's half the season injured every season. I see Odebert, who I'm not going to judge, but he's had zero end product since he's been at the club. Right?
He's crap. Just be honest. He's crap.
Timo Werner, the worst shooting stats by any Spurs forward player in the last 20 years. Then I'm looking at Kulu, goes missing against the top 10 teams. Bentancur goes missing against the top 10 teams. Madison gives you half a season. I'm just trying to break it down and say, right, what am I backing? Explain this project to me, because I don't see it. And then you look at the results, the last 30 games, the last 40 games, you're like, I don't get it. Then you look at the away performance, like 3 wins in something like 15. Look, there has to be something for us to say, I get it. I see it. If tomorrow, and for the next 10 games, the attack, the defense just suddenly looks solid, I'll say, whoa, I did not see that coming. Man, I need to go back and learn about how I watch games, because
you're giving credit because he got it right.
So I will praise him and everyone that said, look where we're going. But there's nothing to suggest that is going to be the case. There's nothing other than we are more attacking, which I give credit to, and it's why I don't think we'll lose to Arsenal because of that, because they're missing Rice and Odegaard. A lot of fans are split on this. What's going to happen tomorrow? I don't think we're going to lose.
Sorry, still go on.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to lose, because I can see that we are more attacking, and I do think we're going to put pressure on them, and I don't think Arsenal are going to be as good as what they can be tomorrow. Having said that,
Still,
I'm not going to lie about our defense. We can't defend.
Can I just prove you something wrong? Do you remember Newcastle had their whole team depleted and we still lost? So I will not be surprised if against Arsenal, even though they don't have Rice and Odegaard, we will still manage to lose.
They've still got significant backup.
They've got quick players attacking our high line. That's what they've got. They've got quick players going at our high line. And I just think when you look at, I keep hearing, we're moving in the right direction. We're going forward. And like you were saying, but based on what? Where's the evidence? We had this much possession, this many shots. The only numbers I care about when the stats come out after a game with a scoreline, when those 90 minutes have passed and the ref blows the full-time whistle. But for some reason, it's playing good that means more at the minute than results. I just want to read something out. I think this was before the Everton game. It might have been after the Everton game. But it was a tweet I saw from someone on Twitter. And you keep hearing, we're moving in the right direction, right? We've won 13 league games out of the last 31. That's probably changed 32 or 33. 10 of those wins were against teams below 10th in the table. We've won 3 times away and lost 15 away. 4 clean sheets in 32. That'd be 5 at the Everton. How are we moving in the right direction with those sort of stats? I can't get my head around it. But lads, it's been great coming on. I'm going to have to shoot off, but big up, Sava. I don't think I've been on the thing with you, mate. It's good to see you. Dan, Stel, D-Trex.
Good to see you, Rob.
Take care, Robbie.
The thing I will say to this before I have to end this, because I am in serious trouble, it is the truth, isn't it? And Spurs fans just don't like the truth.
Can I just say one thing before you go, Dan? And my uncle was the head of the academy at Charlton Athletic for years and years and years. The sort of academy that brought through people like, I don't know if anyone remembers, like Jonathan Shittu, Scott Parker, those sort of players that came through at Charlton, right? And he always used to say to me, because he was the one who taught me everything about football and put me through my coaching badge and stuff. He always said there's 2 types of supporters. You got your supporters who don't care about all the white noise, right? And I'll explain that in a second. And then you've got your people that are analytical. So you've got your supporters. What he means by that is most of the fans that will come onto YouTube and talk in the comment section, they don't care about the white noise. They don't care about the facts. They don't care about the results. It's, this is my club. I'm going to stick by them through thick and thin. I'm just going to defend them for everything. Tottenham. And that's fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, Dan. But they're the sort of people that go on to panel shows with other clubs and sit there and say the most ridiculous things about Tottenham, and we get laughed at as a fan base because they say things like, we're going to win the league, or we're going to batter you. Yeah, we're going to batter this team, batter that team. Right? There's those type of fans. Then you get the ones that actually want to take the football and analyze it. They're the people that are more likely study games, right? So they don't just watch the game and go, get stuck in. You know, like when you've got those football fans in the terrace that say things like, kick him, yeah, lump it foot. Those sort of fans won't look at everything else. Then you get the fans that do look at everything else. We do look at, okay, we're moving like your man just said there. Okay, we're moving in the right direction. How? Give me the raw facts that we're moving. I just feel it. Okay, I don't want to feel it. Show me. And I used this analogy the other day, Dan, with Kuva. I said to him,
That's right.
if my target at work for the year is £1 million, if I'm in sales and my target is 1 million, if at the end of the year I've made 250 grand and I sit down with my manager and go, should have been 1 million, but it wasn't my fault. This happened, that deal dropped, this dropped. The underlying numbers show that I am getting better. I've failed. Our fan base are rewarding this rather than demanding more from this manager, Dan. Rather than we sit there and have fans that are going, come on, guys, we've got to sort this defence out. We've got to get better at the back. We've got to be better at seeing out games. We've got to be more methodical rather than just all gung-ho. They don't do that. What they just do is go, oh, this is a breath of fresh air. This guy attacks. And the only way I can describe how you know this is everyone knows I wasn't a fan of Conte, right? So what's thrown at me now is, oh, you didn't want Conte's defensive negative football. This is what you asked for. So apparently, if I don't like one style, it means I have to like the gung-ho, not caring about the back. And that is where you realise that some people don't actually take a step back and actually watch the games. They don't watch the games. They just, we're Tottenham. Everything's great. They're the people that get invited on TalkSport. They're the people that get invited on Sky Sports. These people can't break down a game. They don't want the truth. They don't want the facts. They just want to say everything's wonderful. And these are the people, and I'll shut up now because I do need to go. These are the people that if we win tomorrow, won't say, great, that's a good step in the right direction. They'll use that as a reason for Ange ball works. We're going to win a league title. There's no middle ground. Sorry, I'll shut up.
There really isn't. Well, there's a quick question for you there.
Oh, so how did you wind up supporting Spurs? Because my uncle is a Spurs fan and was the male figure in my life who took me to football when I was a kid. So it's that simple.
It's his fault.
It's his fault, yeah. I think I'd be more happy supporting Millwall or Charlton or something, to be honest.
Millwall was always fun to go to. I remember that when I was in my 20s.
Yeah, used to love going down to Millwall or Charlton for a game. It was always good laugh.
Yeah, let's just say it was a perky sort of thing. There was always a bit of fun there. Yeah. But right, I'm going to have to shoot because I'm in severe trouble, and what I'm going to have to do is blame that on you. Still, this one is your fault because, like, my wife did ask me.
There is a queue though of people that you need to.
I know, no, but this one, I've actually got a leg to stand on blaming you for this. Because my wife said to me, "Okay, how long are you doing it for?" I said, "I don't know, hour and a half, whatever." You're on your own. I said, at the moment. She said, "Right, okay." And then you messaged me, and I said to her, "Yes, Del just messaged me. He's going to jump." And she's like, "Oh, right, okay. You're going to be on there for about 2.5 hours." I'm like, "What makes you say that?" She said, "Well, as soon as you get talking with Stel, and then you start talking with others, you'll just start talking about football, and you could be on there for 4 hours." I'm like, "No, that's not going to happen."
That's because you invite people like Sav and Dietrich and all these other dodgy guys.
Anyone's free to come on and speak their mind. Yeah, but
I blame Beth. Don't worry about it. Beth, it's your fault.
Oh no, don't say
I've
that.
got to go. I've really got to go. Someone's at my door. Take care, guys.
Right,
Take care, bro.
take it easy. Right, so with that one, I'm going to have to blame you on that still. You've had the blame enough, so I'm sure it won't bother you.
I'll take it.
Forget the amount of times
Take
he gets
it,
blamed.
take it roughly. That's the way to do it, mate. Right, so Stel, show's coming up. What are you doing, mate?
Just 8 o'clock tonight. Doing a statistical comparison between Spurs and Arsenal on the defence and the attacks, and then tomorrow night 9:30 late night show post-match review of Spurs v Arsenal. Come check it out.
Well, I will be. I'll be there with you on that one because I've got a bet on now. Which, I'm gonna have to find Steph because I did say if we had Solanke that I'd be confident we win. So again, I'm gonna have to offer him out on double or nothing on that one. And Dietrich,
Yeah, what's up?
well, where do we find you? Or do you
Well, you
just
can
come
find me
and go?
everywhere, but I'm gonna be hopefully on the Stealth show aftermath of the game, so that's where I'm gonna be.
Okay. So thanks for watching, everyone. I don't ask this very often, but give us a quick like and subscribe. It's much appreciated. Any of you two got anything last to say?
Yeah, we're gonna lose, and hopefully Ange gets sacked.
And still,
We're not losing to Arsenal tomorrow, man. I really don't think we
Do you
will.
want to make a bet?
No, because the last time I made a better to wear an Arsenal shirt. So
No,
I'm never...
do you want to make a? Because
I'd rather pay.
Because
I'd
I have an
rather pay
Arsenal
up
shirt.
500 quid than do that.
I have an Arsenal shirt.
No,
We wore it
Dietrich,
last time.
listen.
No. You're confident? Put your money where it is. Are
Do
you
you
gonna
wanna
wear a
come-
shirt? Yes
do,
or no?
do you want to come on my show tomorrow night?
No.
No, you
Let's
don't.
make a
All
bet.
right, okay.
No. I'll come on. Just make a bet. If we lose, no. Let's say if we win, no. You say we're not gonna lose. Okay. If that's the case, you're not wearing. I'm wearing an Arsenal shirt. If
I'm not wearing Arsenal shirts, West Ham. I'm not doing that again. I'm never betting again, ever. After that,
okay, donate to charity then.
no.
You're a pussy.
I'm a charity. Donate to me.
No, he's been reading the Bible. He can't do it.
I'm not. This guy hates the Bible. I'm not doing any bets again. I'm just happy for my word to be out there and for that to be judged. I just don't think Arsenal will beat us tomorrow, man. But I don't think we'll win. I don't think we've got.
I don't
Okay,
think they
at
will.
least minimum make an apology saying I was completely wrong. I'm a fool.
Oh,
Before the show begins.
I will.
You'll admit he's
If I
wrong.
get it wrong, I always hold up my hands. If I get it wrong.
No, but you're gonna make at least a 10-minute monologue saying I was
Why?
completely wrong.
Who are you to tell me what to do, man? Who are you? Who are you? Go back to listen in your cave in Canada. Show your face. You're like the people in the comments hiding. Show your face. Who are you? What's your real name? Where do you really live?
You know my real
What do you
name.
look
Stop
like?
lying. You do.
I don't know anything about you.
Yeah,
You've
you
got,
do.
you've got one of those devices that masks your real voice. Is this really your voice?
No, that
No
is my
ways.
voice.
It sounds better now with a mic. But right, so
It's one of those
quick
AI
last
robots.
finish to it then. Dietrich,
AI
what's the
robots.
score?
I predicted 3-1, so I'm saying again 3-1 Arsenal.
You think
And
Arsenal
Stel?
are going to beat us 3-1, man? Are you serious?
No. Do you know why?
They just about
'Cause-
beat us 3-2 last year and they've got the
No.
key players missing.
No. Just I think the attack got worse. I'm not a fan of the midfield we have, and defensively, Dogi has not been good. So they're gonna target the left back position. That's why I'm saying 3-1. And we suck
Okay.
at set pieces. They have Gabriel, one of the best set piece scorer in the league. That's why I'm saying 3-1.
Okay, and Hadrian's Wolf, thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. Good show, Dan. Big up your guests today. Thanks a lot, mate.
Big
It's
up.
much appreciated. So, Stel, what do you think the score's going to be?
2-2, and we're going to be 2-0 up, and then we're going to absolutely blow it.
Okay, wait. Last thing. If that's the case at the stadium, what do you think is gonna happen? If it's
Meltdown.
2-0?
Meltdown.
No, but when you say meltdown, do you actually mean a meltdown? Or you just mean
Yeah.
people are gonna moan?
It's going to feel like a loss. How can you be
Yeah.
2-0 up in North London derby and then lose and draw 2-2?
No, but when I say meltdown, is it gonna be like people are gonna throw stuff at the stadium, like actual like
No.
proper hooligans?
No. that don't happen at Tottenham anyway.
Can I just say to the happy kangaroo, as soon as you talk about me personally and you
I
say
haven't
things
even
about
seen
my age
anything.
and disabled kids and all this stuff,
Oh,
Someone ban
yeah, I
him,
didn't see
please.
that.
mate,
Ban
you
him.
are exposing who you are as a human being in this world. That kind of behavior is rotten in your soul. If you had this much about you, like that much, you'd come on my show on a Wednesday with your camera on and talk, but you don't. People like you just don't do that. Why? Because inside there's something fundamentally broken, man. And that's what the internet does. It allows people to hide. It allows them to mask who they really are. It allows them to create fake personas. That coward-like fake world that they live in, man, it just exposes fundamental failings within them. At least when you
Of
put
course it
yourself on a
does.
camera and you can see the face and you can hear the voice, mate, there's a difference in how you live life when you do that as opposed to someone that hides. So I don't know what more I can say to.
And that wasn't aimed at you, Dietrich.
Yeah, no, we know who Dietrich is. We've met him many. Listen, I know who Dietrich is, but it's not just Happy Kangaroo. There's many fake accounts like that. A lot of them target my channel, Savas. You know, it's a sad indictment of what's going on in society where people feel they've got to hide, got to mask who they really are because they're too scared. They're too scared because they know, Dan, they know, right? They know if they do what we're doing here and they put themselves in front of a camera, they know now the whole world can see. Now they've got to own their shit, but they don't want to own who they are because they're scared of who they are, so they hide. Whereas me, dude, I'm here. I own everything. I own it, and that's the difference between being someone that is true to who they are in life and someone who's running scared of what's going on within, man. And you know,
sorry to change the subject. I just thought of
it's
a
tragic. It's tragic, man.
A lot of people haven't got the bottle to come on and debate
because they're scared of who they are, Dan. They're scared of who
let
they are.
alone a comment like that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even see that because I was just on the other screen. So sorry, but a lot of people they don't even want to come on the show to debate their point. Some people don't like cameras. I get that, fine. But the way I look at it is, if you're going to be, you leave one point on the side, okay, fine, and then you get others who leave about 10, 20 on there, proper arguing your point. So, you know, do you know what? Come on and talk to me. And
but you know, when you get people in the comments, though, Dan, you get people in the comments that argue with you, but it's not personal. It's they stick to football. I've got nothing wrong with that.
No, that's fine.
As soon as people
I still say to them, come on and talk about it.
As soon as people say, "I'm glad your mum died," you live in your parents' box room. You touch disabled kids. Once they start doing that, they're finished. They're finished. They're finished in life. They're fucked. They're fucked.
It is bad. So I've gone, Dietrich.
I just thought of a good bet. If Spurs lose, because Dan was confident against Connor and what's his name?
Look, there's another one now. The Happy Kangaroo spoke the truth. Based on what? Yeah. Based on what? THFC. What? Do you know what? These are all accounts I've blocked on my channel. These are all the rats in the sewers of YouTube that I've blocked. Look, THFC, you're another one. Come on my channel on Wednesday. Show me that you are actually a man, that you are actually an adult that can stand by what they say. Come, put your camera on and we'll discuss. I'll be respectful to you. Like right now, I'm not swearing back. I'm not being aggressive.
A bit harsh. He doesn't have to be a man. You know, maybe he wants to be something different when he
could
comes.
Could be woman, non-binary, whatever it is nowadays, transgender. I don't know.
If he's a unicorn, you still have to show him respect.
Listen, do you know what? Maybe this could be the moment that we prove that unicorns are real, and like a unicorn comes on the show.
And I said him as well, so I shouldn't have said that. No offense meant to you, THFC. Sorry.
I do these weekly shows. Every 2 weeks, I do these fan calling shows. And so far, there's one guy, I think his name was Thama. And now, Brian, I'm not giving them the time. listen, no, respect, Brian, respect. I get what Brian's trying to say to me. There's a guy called Thama who came on and he goes, I want to question your views on Levy in the club. I disagree. He was so respectful. We had a really good 20-minute chat. Really good, to the point where Maz felt, I need to speak to this guy. Maz came on as well for 5 minutes. We didn't agree at the end of it. We still disagreed, but fuck me. How can you not respect someone who's Levy out, who comes on and says, well, let's talk about it? How can you not respect him? Even though I hate his views and his opinions, how can I not respect the bloke? Not a coward.
He's at least had the bottle to come and do it. So what I will say is now...
And he owns who he is.
Press the wrong button. Sorry.
That's right. But he owns who he really is. He's like, this is me, and I'm going to own it. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to just gossip in the background. I'm not going to, oh, this person said something, so it must all be true. All of that must be true. That's not how it works, man. That's not how the real world works.
When are you doing your show where these people can come on and talk to you?
Not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Everyone's invited on. Anyone. I had a West Ham fan that came on. I had a West Ham fan that wanted to come on. In fact, he was one of the best of the night, actually. He was a good laugh. And he admitted to the world he used to be Tottenham and he changed to West Ham. And I said, of all the clubs to change from Tottenham, you went West Ham. Is that not a level? Go to Liverpool. Go to Man City. Go to United. You went to... Anyway, he's a funny guy. He's a good bloke as well. Really good bloke.
Okay.
But yeah, so look, anyone's invited on. Anyone's invited on. All fans.
Because even though you've been kicked out of the chat, you can still see it there. Stell's doing a show where you can go on there. Any people, any lampposts, any unicorns, you're all welcome. Anyway, have a good day, everyone.
I'm gonna turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Like